So it's 2nd and 3. Freeze back to pass. Forced out of the pocket, rolling to his right, being chased by Bereni, and finally knocked out of bounds by Kretzinger.
Michigan Tech on the season averages about 100 yards rushing per game and about 215 passing. So we will get a little bit of everything. And don't forget, if you listened to the conversation JJ had with Coach Brady pregame, there is an expectation that at some point Michigan Tech will break out some misdirection in some form of a trick play. So you've kind of got to stay on your toes with that, at least in the back of your mind at all times.
3rd and 3, pistol look this time for Michigan Tech. And they give it off to Ruff between the middle. He's hit hard on second effort, though. I think he's got the first down. Good job by both Ruff, the running back, and also the offensive line of Michigan Tech. And I think that was Alfred Daly Jr., the middle linebacker, who made the hit. Well short of the line to gain, but Ruff on 2nd and 3rd effort does pick up the first down.
Very aggressive run. Threw his body right into the contact, spins around, and didn't have to go terribly far, but moved the pile back far enough. Now first down at the 45.
Opening possession of the game. Freeze hands it off. Fresh running back in there, and finally the tackle made along the far side, as checking in at running back that time was Colby Hindenach.
Easy for you to say.
Well,
I
used to
easy.
speak some German.
It is easy for you to say.
Yes, so Hindenach, not too difficult for me, but interesting that their 2 running backs are out of Lawton and Paw Paw, which are neighboring cities in southwest Michigan, each of them making their way, that's a good 10 or 11 hour drive up to Michigan Tech, regardless of which side of Lake Michigan you ascend. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Freeze throws over the middle. It's caught by Willis, and he has a first down into SVSU territory.
Darius Willis ranks first in the GLIAC in receiving yards, 689 plus that number, and 5.5 catches per game, 8 receiving touchdowns. This is a weapon. First time they've gone to him here, but this is a really smooth and rhythmic drive to open things up for Michigan Tech.
11:15 to play first quarter, no score yet, but Michigan Tech has advanced to the SVSU 38-yard line. Freeze on first down here, keeps it himself. He's got a lane. He's inside the 30, inside the 20, and Eli Gordon gets just enough to bring him down inside the 15-yard line.
I'm not even sure how Eli got him. That was a one-handed desperation grab at the jersey to bring down the quarterback on the RPO. Put the ball in the gut of his running back Ruff, pulled it back out, and had lots of room to operate on the left side. The Cardinal defense coming out on its heels here on this opening drive.
So Alex Freeze, the local product out of Saginaw, Swan Valley, at the controls and doing a very efficient drive for Michigan Tech on their opening possession. Pistol look again. And now we have a whistle on the far side. Timeout taken by Michigan Tech. We'll take a quick break as well. 10:24 to play first quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being...
Everything else has been fantastic.
That SVSU won, and that's a big win for the Cardinals heading into week 11. First and 10 from the 12. Handoff to Ruff, running between the tackles. He gets down to about the 10 and then is driven back. Good job by the interior of that SVSU defense. This has been a very tough Cardinal defense to run against all season.
That timeout that Michigan Tech called also worked to the benefit of the Cardinal defense. Somebody needed to get in their ear and have a little wake-up call. we'll see if that takes effect here now. 2nd and long. They finally got really their first stop of any note here to start the game. Now 5 minutes plus opening possession for the Huskies.
SVSU number 1 in the GLIAC in rushing defense coming into today's contest. And here they hand it to Ruff again.
Yeah.
Great job by Carson Bereni. He's out of Saginaw Swan Valley as well, so a lot of former Vikings playing today. He makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage, and now Michigan Tech going to be looking at 3rd and 7 from the SVSU 9-yard line.
Yeah, and after a drive that the Huskies have really controlled everything, you now have a chance to perhaps get them off the field with nothing more than a field goal attempt. That'd be a big win for the Cardinal defense.
Watch Darius Willis here. He's lined up in the slot to the right. Freeze drops back to pass. Rolling out. He's under pressure. Throws it underneath. They've got a tight end open. Makes the catch. Does he get in?
I don't think he got in.
He does get stopped, but it will be a 1st down coming up for Michigan Tech.
Boy, a middle screen inside the 10-yard line is a tough play to execute. Michigan Tech did it really well. The quarterback Freeze rolls out to his right, draws the defense that way, and then sort of throws back to his left in the middle of a lot of traffic. That's not an easy play to execute.
So now Michigan Tech has it 1st and goal from the 1. Freeze hands to Ruff. He's hit. I don't think he got there. Stood up right at the line of scrimmage. That was actually a backup quarterback lined up as a tight end that time, Drew Collins, who made the catch for Michigan Tech, and then did a good job fighting his way down to the 1. And Collins is once again lining up as a tight end, this time tight end to the left-hand side of the formation. Hand off to Ruff again, finding a lane. He's upended. And he's down. He did not get in. The official from the far sideline emphatic that he did not get into the end zone.
He made that call quickly from up here in the booth. I thought he was in fairly easily. He got flipped upside down. I think his feet got in, but I don't think the torso made it in.
Well, and if that elbow touches the ground, the play ends there.
Michigan Tech finding a little stout challenge down here. 1st and goal, now 2nd and goal, now 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
And they are going with a very heavy formation here.
Think Philly tush push here.
And we've got a timeout.
Not really sure who.
The second of the ball forward will move back. It's their first warning. Still third down.
It sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher to me.
I did not discern what came out of the field.
But there was not a timeout called.
Yep.
So whatever that was, it was not a timeout burned by either team. Still 3rd and goal from the half-yard line.
Freeze drops under center. He tries to dive in, and he's still struggling.
I'll tell you what, I don't see any arms in the air until
now. They come up.
Oh, that took a while.
So they lost sight of Freeze because there was a huge sea of humanity. But look at that Michigan Tech Husky team. They are fired up after a nearly 8-minute drive that ends in a touchdown on the game's opening possession.
Well, you do not see a lot of 8-minute opening drives in any game from any team. And for Michigan Tech, if you draw up your dream start to the game, that's what it looks like. Huge contingent of fans, by the way, made their way down from Houghton.
Extra point is on the way, and it is good. So Michigan Tech now leads 7-0, 7:02 to play first quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously.
J.J. Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium, where Michigan Tech scores on its opening possession, and the Huskies have taken an early 7-0 lead. And as you said, Bill, you just don't see drives like that very often in college football anymore. 14 plays, 75 yards, takes 7:58 off the clock.
Well, they also delivered what we would hope to be a bit of a wake-up call to the Cardinals in case they came out thinking, well, it's the end of the season, this team's not going to be all that stout. They are stout. They're very good. And the Cardinal defense, we could look back if we had the time and maybe employed our gifted research department. I don't think any opponent has had a drive of that many plays and that much time all season on SVSU.
The scoring drives have been relatively few, so it is not that difficult to mentally chronicle them, because the SVSU defense has been so good all season. And I agree with you, 14 plays, almost 8 minutes, those just haven't happened, so you've really got to tip your cap to Michigan Tech for what they were able to do on the game's opening possession.
And by the way, there was nothing fancy about the drive. There were no trick plays. This was, here we are, we're coming at you, we're mostly going to run it. And you can try to stop us. The Cardinals will have to do better on their next possession.
Here, a short kick. Austin Bills fields it, gets a block, trying to come along the near side. He does get across the 30. Now a late penalty flag comes in. So instead of having decent starting field position, it looks like SVSU will be backed up.
So now the Cardinals come out, and uncustomarily, they come out trailing at the very beginning of the game. Not a big deal. It's 7-0. You probably weren't going to pitch a shutout to start with. So the offense has a responsibility now to hold up its end of the bargain, and they will be backed up a little bit by what probably is a hold or a block in the back on the return. Still waiting for the official announcement.
They're trying to, I think, spot the foul. And I believe this is going to go against SVSU. I'm with you that it's going to be some sort of illegal block on the return.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block.
Oh.
13, number 26. 15
A little more costly than a hold or a block in the back. A personal foul with a blindside block. So they're saying that somebody engaged a defender or a member of the coverage team and hit him without his awareness, probably from the side. Those decleaters, they used to celebrate and sell highlight tapes of them in the NFL. Now they're a penalty. I didn't see it take place.
Nor did I, but yes, it used to be called a crackback block.
Yep.
Now that has been outlawed for safety reasons. It backs up SVSU to their own 16-yard line, and Connor Cracchiolo-Evans, the starting right tackle, one of the seniors being lauded here on Senior Day, unfortunately called for a false start before SVSU even gets an offensive snap.
I think all things being equal, if you had kind of a reset button, everybody goes back to the locker room, you come back out again, the Cardinals might take that mulligan at this point. Not that it's an insurmountable anything, but it hasn't been a very smooth start.
So now SVSU backed up, facing 1st and 15. Dub Williams, the tight end, goes in motion to the far side. McKenzie, play action, has a good pocket, rolls to his right, throws over the middle, and what a catch made by Eric Kraft out at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, if Kraft doesn't grab that, Josh Cribben does, and Josh Cribben's wearing a white jersey, and he came down from Houghton. That was a really good interception-saving catch and almost a first down after that penalty.
Gain of 14, but then there's a loss on the next play as the toss to Brown is broken up by by Porter Zeman, who makes a tremendous tackle for loss. He's another relatively local product from Corunna High School.
Yeah, Terrence did not have any chance. Once he caught that toss, he was going nowhere.
So now SVSU looking at 3rd and 6 from their own 20-yard line. Michigan Tech leading 7-0 here in the first quarter. McKenzie drops back to pass under a little bit of pressure. Now he takes off to the near side. He's got a receiver. It's Terrence Brown. Makes the catch. And here goes Terrence Brown along the near sideline. Stays in bounds. Terrence Brown, the 20, the 10. Touchdown Saginaw Valley.
Wow. That escalated quickly. The play was not designed to go to Terrence Brown. That was the creativity and the kind of the connection that McKenzie has with Brown, because after the primary routes broke down, Mason rolls out to his left. He's always a threat to run. And so the defense has to respect that. And the linebacker who was assigned to Brown respected that run by about one step too many. Mason was able to loft the ball over his head, and untouched down the sidelines goes Terrence Brown Jr. What a huge answer on the Cardinals' opening drive.
Extra point from Castaneda is on the way, and it is good. So we are tied 7-7, 5:42 to play first quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete, time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
The Detroit formula for making something great is simple. Hard work. Make it good. Then make it better. Better, like Jet's Detroit style pizza. Jet's. Better, because it has to be.
JJ Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium, where SVSU coming up with a very different scoring drive than what we saw from Michigan Tech on their opening possession. Instead of the long, sustained move the chains drive that we saw from the Huskies, SVSU with the explosive play. Mason McKenzie hits Terrence Brown, his running back, out of the backfield for an 80-yard touchdown. And just like that, we're tied 7-7.
2 completions for 94 yards. That's a pretty good average per completion.
That's a good quarter, by the way.
That is a really good quarter. And by the way, the defense for the Cardinals probably still on the sidelines catching their breath from an extended period of time at work. And a minute 20 possession for the offense ties the game up. So you've got that fresh start that we talked about, right? This is exactly how things opened up. Essentially 0-0. Now the defense, hopefully with a chance to reset its moorings, comes out and does its job, because the offense struck very, very quickly. What a cool connection, by the way, between McKenzie and Brown. That's the kind of thing that comes from playing an entire season together. And you know when your quarterback is in distress and he's rolling out, where you have to go to make yourself available to him. That's what Brown did. And McKenzie, with a perfect floater, ends up 80 yards later in the end zone.
Castaneda with a deep kick, as Willis will watch it go through the back of the end zone. And so Michigan Tech will once again bring it out to the 25-yard line. And we'll see what adjustments this Cardinal defense has made after that very impressive opening possession by Michigan Tech.
I would look for them, for the most part, by the way of adjustment, is to fill some run gaps up front. That's really where things opened up, with both Freeze keeping it and a little bit of room for their running back, Jake Ruff. But that's what kind of started everything, the threat of the run. Then it opened up a few short passes. Let's see if the Cardinals get a little more stout against that Husky ground game.
On first down, they give it to Willis on the end around. He's looking for a block. He gets one. And finally, Daly Jr. and Gordon combine on the tackle, but not before Willis picks up 6 or 7 yards. And one thing you have to give credit to Michigan Tech for here in the early going, they are doing a very good job blocking on the edge.
Yeah, and we have seen teams try this season to beat the Cardinals out around the ends and not have the speed or the discipline blocking, because it's super easy to be called for a penalty out there. And in the early going, Michigan Tech's done a really good job of that.
That was a gain of 7, so 2nd and 3. Freeze, high snap. He's going to try to keep it himself. He does. Eli Gordon gets a hold of him and brings him down, but it's going to be close to the line to gain. And in fact, the official on the far side signals to move the chains, so Freeze got just enough on that quarterback carry.
Eli is a very good defensive player, but he went for the upper body shirt jersey tackle that time instead of the wrap-up, and that did not work on Alex Freeze.
So Michigan Tech does move the chains. They've got it 1st and 10 from the SVSU, from their own 35-yard line. 7-7 our score. Freeze from the shotgun, throws to the far side. It's caught, and this is going to be about an 8-yard gain on the completion to Bryce Kurtz. Kurtz out of DeWitt, Michigan, in suburban Lansing, picks up 9. And Michigan Tech's just getting a lot of these 6, 7, 8, that's a 9-yard gain on 1st down, and that's giving them very manageable down and distance situations later in the series.
That was a quick pop. That's actually a play similar to what the Cardinals like to run. The 2-step drop, quick release, doesn't give the defensive front any chance to apply pressure to the quarterback.
Alex Bueno is in at quarterback. He's going to try to do something with it, but he can't. Grant Cooney brings him down. That was a bad snap. Bueno, who had checked in at quarterback, didn't field it cleanly. He did hold on to the football, but that's going to be a loss of 7 on the play.
If you'll forgive the use of the language, the snap to Bueno was no bueno. It basically went over his head, and had he not been athletic enough to get up and at least deflect it back to himself, that ball's rolling all the way back to the 20-yard line. First error we've seen Michigan Tech make on offense.
So now Bueno stays in at quarterback. It's 3rd and 8. High snap again. Bueno rolling to his left, throws high to the far side, and it is caught. Nice route run over there by Brandon Michalak, and that's a huge conversion for Michigan Tech.
And JJ, you'll have to help me understand the rotation of quarterbacks.
Well, the one thing that I'm thinking about is that Alex Freeze is a senior. And so this is an opportunity to get some meaningful snaps for Bueno. It's also possible on the quarterback sneak that went for a touchdown, something happened to Freeze. But the other possible explanation is you're getting him some
just reps.
Snaps. Yep, to prepare for his future career. Bueno keeps it himself, running to the left side this time. He's going to be wrapped up and driven backwards. He's going to get forward progress for a loss of only a yard, but there's Micah Kretzinger, the All-American linebacker for SVSU, with yet another tackle for loss.
So for those of you wondering, Bueno is out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. He is 6 foot 180. He's a redshirt freshman. And as JJ said, this might be just that time to get him some end-of-season reps that they can look at and build off of in the offseason. He's done just fine in the 3 snaps that he's had. I'm just surprised to see Freeze not get the entire game as a senior. By the way, he was playing pretty well.
2nd and 11. Bueno drops back to pass. Wanted to go quick. He can't. Now he's going to fling it, and it's incomplete. He also takes a huge shot from Micah Kretzinger.
I think
a legal hit, but that was a doozy.
Yeah, Mr. Bueno is not going to take the next snap for the Huskies. He was introduced to a future NFL player as he rolled to his left, tried to throw down the sidelines. Micah, about a step after the release, brought the hammer down, and thankfully Bueno is helping him, able to get off the field under his own power, but he's not feeling so good.
And again, he's a redshirt freshman. Freeze has been an outstanding quarterback for Michigan Tech this season and throughout his career. And the speed of the college game relative to the speed of the high school game, and especially the speed when you're looking at an All-American linebacker, it's just different. And Bueno held on to that football about a half count too long.
He did pay the price, so Freeze now back in, and it's 3rd and long.
3rd and 11. For Michigan Tech, they will have 3 receivers split wide to the right. Freeze back to pass. Cardinals send a blitzer. They throw it to the near side and well over the head of Michalak, his intended target, so the Cardinals do come up with the stop.
Yeah, that pass was never going to work. That was from the left hash mark all the way across the field to the Cardinal sidelines off of the back foot of Freeze, and throwing it high was probably the best thing he could have done. Otherwise, it's in pickoff territory. Cardinals get the stop they needed. After the offense tied things up, the defense does its job.
So Michigan Tech will bring out the punt unit. Brendan Locke gets away a knuckling kick. Terrence Brown lets it bounce, and it takes a sideways skip. Down rolling a little bit in the favor of Michigan Tech down to about the 13-yard line. There's also a penalty flag back at the 33-yard line.
2 of them in the same spot, probably for the same infraction.
So that was a long way from the action, such as it was on a low knuckling punt. We'll see if we can get the explanation here from the head referee. So it's called on SVSU for a hold, and that's a very unfortunate penalty because it was utterly unnecessary, as that punt really didn't give SVSU a chance to field it. And now, instead of having decent field position.
Man, that went way back.
Yep, well, I think it was down at about the 13-yard line, and half the distance brings it back to the 6. So SVSU will take over there. We're tied 7-7, minute 23 to play, first quarter.
Now 2 special teams penalties.
Here on a handoff, Cardinals come on first down. Terrence Brown on the carry does get it out across the 10 to about the 11-yard line. That's a much-needed gain on first down when you start from inside your own 10.
Cardinal offense really hasn't had a chance to hit its stride after scoring so quickly on the opening drive, and have not had the many opportunities here. This is the second possession of the game with under a minute to go in the first quarter.
McKenzie from the shotgun, 2nd and 6. And now you hear lots of chatter from down on the field level. Michigan Tech trying to get its formation adjusted. McKenzie takes the snap, throws quickly to the far side. It's caught by Walker, and he's got the first down out to, that's Kraft, out to the 24-yard line. So the second big catch today by Eric Kraft, the junior out of Waterford Kettering.
And that is the quick pass that we've come to know and love this season. And I think the Cardinals will let the rest of this first quarter clock expire in a very fast-moving opening quarter.
Very quick moving opening quarter, and it does see SVSU and Michigan Tech tied 7-7 after 15 minutes of football. Back in a moment, you are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
Hobson back at Wick Stadium as we get set to begin the second quarter on Senior Day. SVSU and Michigan Tech. SVSU coming into this one number 10 in the regional rankings. Top 7 make the playoffs, so SVSU hoping for a little bit of help today in other contests to see if they get a chance to keep this fine season alive. Cardinals with a 7-3 record coming into this one. On first down, delayed handoff to Brown, struggles forward, maybe got a yard. Michigan Tech did a good job plugging all the run lanes, and finally it was Hunter Beekle, the senior from Lake Mills, Wisconsin, finishing off the play for Michigan Tech.
You look at some staggering first quarter stats. Michigan Tech ran 22 plays in the first quarter for 95 yards. The Cardinals ran 5 plays for 107 yards.
And SVSU and Michigan Tech tied on the scoreboard. 2nd and 8. McKenzie forced out of the pocket, rolling to his left, backpedaling, looking down the far side, and just throws it away in the direction of his tight end, Tyler McCoon. Good job by Michigan Tech getting pressure that time.
Mason can usually roll away from all that pressure, but it was in on him so quickly. He was backpedaling instead of running in forward gear.
And if he wasn't 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, Eric Kraft had gotten open. But when you're 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it is not easy to then complete a forward pass.
And by the way, I'll tell you after this play.
3rd and 8 to the near side, and it's incomplete. There was some contact between Joe Walker and the defensive back, Dante Baranis, but nothing called.
Wow, right in front of the Cardinal bench. First quarter time of possession, 12-14 for Michigan Tech. 2:46 for the Cardinals. Now, does that matter? Not really, because we're tied on the scoreboard. But what it does work towards is what happens in the late 3rd and 4th quarters with fatigue issues.
Beautiful punt here by Castaneda. All the way back inside the 25-yard line, and then a great job downfield as well on the kick coverage unit. So give credit to Asher Gregory for Michigan Tech, who fielded that punt, but also a very good job not only by Castaneda, the punter, but also by the SVSU special teams, especially Josh Rao, who then makes the tackle, and Michigan Tech will start inside their own 30-yard line. 14:03 to play second quarter. SVSU and Michigan Tech tied 7-7.
Freeze comes back out at quarterback. He's 3 of 4 for 26 yards, and he's carried it 4 times for 32 yards.
Just a 2-receiver formation this time. Freeze from the pistol. And he hands off to Ruff, who is drilled. I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage, as that time the defensive tackle, Timothy Alonso Jr., the 6'3", 300-pound junior out of Maple Heights, Ohio, won his battle in the trenches, and that led to the tackle for loss.
That's the kind of quick stop on the running back that you love to see if you're the defensive side of this Cardinal team. Sure tackle, quick wrap up, little loss, the kind of hit that makes a noise.
2nd and 11 for the Huskies now. Freeze from the shotgun. Running back goes in motion. They throw to the near side. It's batted up by Kretzinger. And did SVSU intercept it? No. Great play by Kretzinger to bat it up in the air, and then Adam LeDuc, the defensive end for the Cardinals, tried to scoop it, and he could not, but it's still an outstanding athletic play by the SVSU All-American.
Well, and if Kretzinger isn't able to get a hand on that pass, there's a lot of room for the swing to the running back on the left side towards the Cardinal sidelines. That was not only a deflection that almost ended in an interception for the Cardinals, but it stopped a potentially big play.
So now 3rd and 11 for Michigan Tech. Freeze from the shotgun again. Forced out, rolling to his right. He's under pressure. He's going to fire deep down the far side. And did the receiver get a foot down inbounds? No. The receiver did catch the ball. That was an outstanding athletic play over there by Ethan Hull, but he could not stay in bounds. So good job by the SVSU defense once again.
Yeah, really good job by Sean Hodges back in coverage to not interfere with the ball that was underthrown. And we have now seen a clear pattern, JJ, that holding's not going to be called today. So I hope both offensive lines take note of that.
4th and 11. Cardinals bring the rush, and this is off the side of the foot of the Michigan Tech punter. SVSU's going to take over in their own territory.
Almost got it.
And again, Alfred Daly Jr. is getting head slaps as the SVSU linebacker in on special teams. At the very least, got very good pressure on the punter. And SVSU is going to take over at their own 46-yard line. With 13 minutes to play here in the first half, we are tied 7-7.
And as you look at the importance of the results of this game, JJ, in the playoff picture, do you think dominance or differential of score matters? Do you think there's a case to be made from an impression standpoint?
It's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to, but there are humans involved in a process that's not just a mathematical computation. And so one of the probably back of mind, or maybe not even all the way back of mind thoughts for Coach Brady and his staff is, we obviously we want to win this. We need to close this season out well, but we've also got a statement that we need to make.
I will say, that I have been broadcasting SVSU football games since the year 2000. There are more bizarre scores in Week 11 than some years in all the other weeks
Really?
combined. Well, you just think about the accumulation of injuries.
Yeah.
You think about players who get caught thinking ahead and
giving up,
or whatever it may be. And so you do see a lot of unusual results in Week 11. And we will see what happens today. Again, SVSU looking for some help. The two teams ahead of SVSU in the regional rankings, the University of Central Missouri and Fort Hays State, both of them out of the MIAA, are each sitting at 9 and 8 in the playoff rankings, each of them with 2 losses on the season. If they each lose today and SVSU wins, the Cardinals climb to 8th. The University of Indianapolis is at 7. SVSU beat Indianapolis head-to-head, so SVSU would claim that final playoff berth over them. There are some other scenarios that could work as well, but that is the simplest to explain as a path for SVSU to continue their season in the playoffs. On first down, McKenzie, play action, under pressure, rolling. He gets away from the first man, throws to the far side. He's got his receiver, Jamerson, who makes the catch. And now the Michigan Tech bench is saying he went out of bounds. And it looks like the official on the far side agrees.
Went out of bounds before. I thought he caught the ball in bounds. So did he step out of bounds, making himself ineligible? And if
that's a penalty.
Yeah, if so, I didn't see a hat come off or a flag go down. Either way, it's 2nd and 10, but I'm not sure what exactly the situation was. I didn't think he was close to being out of bounds when he caught it. Perhaps he was.
Well, that sets up 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals from the Michigan Tech 46-yard line. 7-7 our score. Here, McKenzie hands off to Jamerson, sets up his blockers, runs to the left side, and gets down to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 3.
And for all the benefits of the quick strike scoring drive the Cardinals had to tie this game up, a sustained drive is really going to be important to give this defense a chance to kind of catch its breath. They've been on the field all of this game except for 3 minutes.
3rd and 7. McKenzie throws to the far side, incomplete. He threw it more quickly than Eric Kraft was expecting. That back shoulder throw was there, but McKenzie threw it just short of the sticks. Kraft ran one step past the sticks.
That's a timing play. The timing was off for sure. You've seen those plays when you've watched games where the ball is in the air before the receiver makes the break, and when it works, it's a thing of beauty, but when it doesn't work, it's what we just saw. The ball just goes sailing by a receiver who has no idea that there's a pass coming his way.
SVSU will punt. Castaneda goes with a rugby-style kick to the near side, takes a friendly SVSU bounce initially, stays rolling, and will be down at about the 13-yard line. So SVSU does pin Michigan Tech deep. 12:09 to play, second quarter, 7-7 our score.
Got to give some credit to the Huskies. They are playing very, very stout defense thus far, and they have gotten somebody in on Mason McKenzie on most every pass play. So the initial read hasn't been there on the lone touchdown pass. It worked out that he found a running back wide open. But since then, it's really been slim pickings on offense, and the Cardinals have got to hit some sort of a stride to control the clock a bit more. They're getting off the field far too quickly.
Freeze from the shotgun. On first down, hands it off to the near side, and Micah Kretzinger beats his blocker, makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. I think that was Gregory who had checked in at running back.
Yeah, and Bereni was down around the ankles of that running back as well. Good pursuit of the play flowing to the left side that time. And keep your eyes, by the way, on the Huskies kind of setting something up. As they run hard to one direction, it's not uncommon for them to then bust something back in I don't know if a trick play is the right description, but certainly a misdirection play.
2nd and 8 for Michigan Tech. Freeze now getting his men aligned where he wants them. looking to pass on second down, throws to the far side, almost intercepted as Sean Hodges was the closest one to it. Brandon Michalak ran a different route than his quarterback was expecting.
That was a different kind of mistimed pattern. In fact, it was the wrong pattern for either the quarterback or the receiver. We don't know which one, but that was just about an inch or two away from being a Cardinal interception.
You talk about all those misdirection and trick plays. Dan Metlack, the head coach for Michigan Tech, was an outstanding quarterback for the Huskies in his own day.
Still has some of their records under his name.
Naked bootlegs and those kinds of things were a staple in his repertoire as a player. Here, handoff to Gregory. No, Freeze keeps it, and his former teammate, Carson Bereni, does a great job to shed a block and make a tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Good job by the Cardinal defense. They did what they needed to do. Force a 3-and-out, get off the field, and, by the way, set up the offense in what potentially should be a good starting position after this punt.
See if the Cardinals bring pressure again. They did on the last punt, and it was not a good one.
Yeah, Texan max protect right now.
Cardinals still try to get there, and this is a much better punt.
My goodness.
Terrence Brown backpedaling inside his own 30-yard line, does make the first man miss, now has some room to the far side, gets across the 30, and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So Ethan Hull, the wide receiver, did a good job getting downfield, but Terrence Brown with a solid return. SVSU will have decent field position when we come back. 7-7 our score, 10:39 to play second quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
But then do you hear the deer? There's a lot of factors to take into consideration for that. But we're glad to have you with us wherever you may be today listening to the home finale of the Cardinals season.
Cardinals coming into this one 7-3, Michigan Tech 6-4 on the season.
Got to wake up this home crowd a little bit, JJ. They're quiet.
On first down, handoff to Terrence Brown. No, Mason McKenzie keeps it himself, breaks an ankle tackle, breaks a second tackle, and has the first down. That gets some life back into this home crowd.
I would hope so. That was a dynamic run by an electric quarterback. His legs are such a weapon. I know that every team has scouted that, but there are some things you can see on film. You still can't stop. There were at least two defenders who had a good shot at Mason, and he spins away from both of them to pick up his longest run of the day.
Here he throws over the middle. It's caught by Terrence Brown, and I think he's got enough for the first down as he's down near the 35-yard line. And there you see the versatility of Terrence Brown, the starting running back for SVSU, who can also split out wide. That time he ran a great route and picks up the first down.
Really, really on-target pass. And McKenzie had his choice of Brown or Howard on that right side, and he took the riskier throw but made it perfectly.
So the Cardinals all the way down quickly to the Michigan Tech 36. First and 10 from there. McKenzie throws over the middle, and it's juggled and caught by Tyler McCoon down to the 21-yard line. McCoon juggled it and fortunately not only held on, then secured the football through the contact. And SVSU, I think they're going to spot this right at the 20, so SVSU quickly into the red zone. 3 sharp passes by Mason McKenzie to begin this drive.
Really good concentration by McCoon that time.
Toss to Brown, running to the left side. He's got some blockers and finally knocked out of bounds at about the 12, it looks like. So there's a good gain on first down as well.
And the Cardinals, between their offensive possessions, the coaching staff up here in the booth clearly spotted something that they could exploit in this Tech defense, which appears to be the quick hit slot passing game, because that's what has moved the ball on this drive.
2nd and 8. McKenzie keeps it himself. He makes a man miss. Backpedaling, and now he's just going to have to take a loss. The Cardinals didn't really have many receivers running routes, and so you think, why doesn't he throw it away? Well, the chances of there being an illegal man downfield,
yeah, that was a designed run.
Yeah, something like that would not have been there, so you just got to take the loss on a play like that.
Yeah, oftentimes you'll see a quarterback run because his receivers weren't open. That time he ran because the play was called for him to run, and there were no receivers. They were all engaged in blocks, and it just didn't work.
So now 3rd and 4. McKenzie back to pass again. Blitz coming. He spins away from pressure, throws back over the middle, and is that caught? What a catch by Braden Hill down inside the 2-yard line.
What a throw. What a catch. Mason being knocked down, chased as he's running backwards. I thought he was kind of throwing it away or perhaps throwing it into trouble, and instead it somehow ends up in a completion in the hands of Braden Hill, a name we have not called a lot. He went up in traffic and pulled that one down.
He's an outstanding slot receiver, redshirt freshman out of Charlotte. And now the Cardinals go to their power package on 1st and goal. Brady Devereaux checks in at quarterback. Devereaux runs to the left side, bounces off of a couple of would-be tacklers, stays on his feet, will not be denied on senior day. Brady Devereaux, touchdown Saginaw Valley.
Boy, that is a strong run from your Wildcat quarterback. And as JJ said, he was contacted at the line, maybe behind the line. Brady Devereaux is not a one-contact ball carrier. You're going to have to swarm to bring him down. He just kept moving, bouncing off of defenders, and ends up in the end zone as the Cardinals take the lead.
Devereaux, again, a high school quarterback for Hemlock High School here in Saginaw County, a linebacker and a good one. Now the Wildcat quarterback due to other injuries at the quarterback position for SVSU. The extra point from Castaneda is good. SVSU on top, 14-7. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete, time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest-ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
JG Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium, where Brady Devereaux plunges in from 1 yard out to give the Cardinals the lead, 14-7, 7:15 to play here in the first half. End over end kick. Darius Willis will bring it out from 1 yard deep in his own end zone, trying to pick his way. Takes a big hit then as he gets across the 20-yard line. Jordan Trowers doing the honors there. He's a senior being recognized here today on Senior Day. Transfer from Youngstown State. Other GLIAC games in progress. Ferris State at home leading Davenport 7-6. Wayne State at home leading Northern Michigan 21-7. And now for Michigan Tech, they will have among their worst starting field position of the day at their own 20-yard line.
And the Cardinals coming off of a defensive series where they did exactly what they needed to. Get off the field, set up the offense, then the offense went down and scored. Let's see if that can happen again.
Freeze rolling to his right here. Rolling, just has to throw it away. Good coverage downfield that time by SVSU. They had two receivers run routes to the far side. Neither of them were open.
Yeah, his primary look was to number 1, Michalak, and he was wearing a blue jersey, so there was absolutely no chance. And Freeze is, as he rolls out to look for a receiver, he had no opportunity to tuck that ball and run. The Cardinals were in hot pursuit. So sometimes the incompletion is the best play.
2nd and 10. Freeze. This time we'll hand to Ruff. He's hit. Does do a good job on second effort to get out to the 25-yard line. I have to say, I am impressed with the ability of Jake Ruff, the sophomore running back out of Lawton, Michigan, in yards after contact.
Yeah, he's not going down easily. He is a tough runner.
Our first time seeing him this season. So now it's going to be a big 3rd and 5 for Michigan Tech. They had a 14-play, 75-yard drive on their opening possession. Haven't done much since. Now SVSU in the lead. This becomes a pivotal 3rd down for Michigan Tech as we're midway through the 2nd quarter. Freeze back to pass, throwing over the middle, and it's caught. What a great grab by Michalak. There was decent coverage on the play from DJ Volz, but Freeze put that one exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah, that was just execution. You know, it's the kind of thing where you say, hey, the other team has players on scholarship too, and that was really, really well done. By the way, that opening drive you talked about took almost 8 minutes for Michigan Tech. The Cardinals' 2 scoring drives add up to less than 5 minutes.
That's a huge conversion for Michigan Tech, now out to their own 45-yard line. And we've got timeout taken by Michigan Tech right before that ball was snapped. So that is already the 2nd timeout they have taken. Stops the clock with 5:46 to play here in the 2nd quarter. And that was on 1st down, so clearly Michigan Tech saw something that they did not like about that alignment.
Kind of a surprising burn of a timeout. You certainly, maybe in the first half it's not that big a deal, but you don't want to get into that habit for the second half for sure. Catch you up on some of the individual statistics in the game now. The Cardinals with a couple of scoring drives. Mason McKenzie, 6 of 10 through the air, 149 yards. On the ground, he has rushed it twice for 11 yards. Terrence Brown Jr., 4 carries for 10 yards. So the running game hasn't really been fueling the Cardinals. The passing game has. Terrence Brown with an 80-yard reception now puts him at 2 catches for 93 yards. Eric Kraft, 2 catches for 27 yards as the Cardinals try to find that perfect mix on the offensive side of the ball and get the stops here on defense.
Michigan Tech 1st and 10. Freeze from the shotgun. He hands it to Ruff. He breaks through the line. He's got some room, and he's got a 1st down into SVSU territory. Very good run off right tackle that time, and then Ruff picks up about 13.
Brandon Rawls is begging for a holding call. He is looking at the officials, anybody in a striped shirt near him, but I think we've said it now 3 or 4 times, that does not appear to be something today they're going to call, so you've got to fight through those and realize that, at least thus far, it's worked both ways.
Freeze from the shotgun. He'll keep it himself this time, running between the tackles. Picks up about 5. Daly and Gordon combine on the tackle for SVSU. That's already the 6th carry today for Alex Freeze. Again, the backup quarterback for Michigan Tech, Alex Bueno, came in on their 2nd possession. Took a huge hit from Micah Kretzinger, has not returned.
6 carries, 38 yards for Freeze, 9 for 29 for Jake Ruff.
2nd and 5. And here they do a nice chip block. Freeze is going to go deep to the near side, and Willis cannot haul it in. Cardinals came with a blitz that time. Michigan Tech did an outstanding job picking it up, and Willis had about a step of separation, but could not haul it in. That was a tough catch over the shoulder. But there was an opportunity there, so the Cardinals catch a break.
Yeah, Beeler was beaten by a couple of steps, and Eli Gordon a little bit slow to roll over the top in the coverage. But the pressure forces inaccuracy on the throw from Freeze, and I guess that's what it's supposed to do.
So now 3rd and 5 for Michigan Tech from the SVSU 36-yard line. And now we've got a timeout taken by SVSU. So each coaching staff calling timeouts here in the middle of the second quarter on this possession. Also, interestingly, each of these head coaches were GLIAC players themselves. Ryan Brady went back and forth between quarterback and wide receiver during his playing days at Grand Valley. And as we mentioned earlier, Dan Metlack, the head coach for Michigan Tech, also was an outstanding quarterback for the Huskies.
This is the 102nd year of Michigan Tech football. That's what you call heritage in a program. And Metlack is the 17th head coach in their history, and he grew up in Gwinn, Michigan. So this is a true Uper coming back home to coach his former team. And as we mentioned a few minutes ago, he's still in their record books in a number of different categories. He ranks 5th in Michigan Tech history in total offense with over 6,300 total yards and 66 touchdowns, 7th overall in passing yards. Do you think he might coach the quarterbacks?
I would think
so. Yeah.
And
I like to see that heritage, by the way. It's kind of cool to see a guy go back home and invest in his program where he grew up.
3rd and 5 here. Freeze back to pass. Under pressure, throws to the far side. It's broken up. And a nice job by Hodges to not only break up the pass, almost had a chance to make the interception.
And to avoid any early contact, these days you kind of, especially after last week, you kind of hold your breath wondering if something will be called, and that was just really, really solid coverage. But because of where the ball is on the field at the Cardinal 36, this is 4th down, go for it time for the Huskies. So the Cardinals make one big stop on 3rd down. Now they have to do it again.
So 4th and 5, Michigan Tech will go for it. 3 receivers split wide to the left. Now Willis goes in motion to the far side. Freeze back to pass. Cardinals get some pressure on him. He's going to try to run for it now. Kretzinger gets a hit on him. Now where do they give? Now he's going to have it easily. Great 2nd and 3rd effort by Freeze to get the 1st down, as there was good coverage downfield, but Freeze with a great scramble. And as you mentioned earlier, Bill, Michigan Tech has a very good crowd here. Again, there's a lot of players from Metro Detroit, from Lansing, from the Great Lakes Bay region here on this Michigan Tech roster. So this is a relatively short trip for them, and they have showed up in force, and you heard them after that big 4th down conversion.
And that was not a designed quarterback run. That was really good coverage by the Cardinal D, and then Freeze, not afraid to stick his nose into trouble, takes some hits, moves the chains.
Freeze rolling to his right this time. He's going to throw back over the middle, and it's breaking up, almost intercepted. DJ Volts read it perfectly, just could not complete the interception.
Brandon Rawls now having a further conversation with the head official, and he's like, are you ever going to call this or not?
I think the answer today is simply no.
Yeah, I mean, that was as blatant as it gets. So there's obviously been a pregame conversation. Boys, we're not calling holding today. I don't understand how that's possible. But on the other end of that play was an easy interception for the Cardinals. So the defense is playing stout right now with 3.5 to go in the half. Be super important to keep Michigan Tech off the board.
2nd and 10. Handoff to Ruff, and he is going to be hit by Daly, wrapped up, wrestled down after a short gain. And this time you've got one of the players for Michigan Tech, Jordan Dent, the tight end, slowed to get up. Again, Michigan Tech going with 1 and sometimes 2 tight ends on their offensive formations. And Dent looks like they're working on his left ankle, but there was another one where you certainly are seeing that the officials are not going to call very much between the tacklebacks today, regardless of what happens.
So let's briefly talk, not by the way out of complaint, because if it's going to go both ways, that's great. Let's talk about policy versus practicality. there's no chance that the GLIAC as a conference would ever come out and say, yeah, we decided that for the SVSU Michigan Tech game, there's just going to be a non-enforcement of holding calls. So that's policy. Practicality is clearly that's not going to be called. And I'm not saying it's only gone one way, right? So the Cardinals have had the ball. They've had a successful passing attack and most likely have also benefited on an occasion or two from the same sort of decision made by this crew. But there are times when it's so egregious that it changes the outcome of a play, and we've seen that more than a few times in this first half. That's the part where it gets troubling.
We'll see if the Cardinals can create some trouble here defensively as Michigan Tech goes to work on 3rd and 9. Freeze with a long snap count.
Trying to draw him off sides did not work.
And Jasper Beeler looked like he was going to come up and go press coverage on Willis. Now he's dropped back off. Freeze rolling to his right, throws back over the middle, broken up. Great job by the aforementioned Jasper Beeler.
Boy, he knew that route. He jumped that route, got right out there in front of Willis, and had the best chance at catching that ball. Certainly the receiver never even got a look at it.
And you can tell this SVSU defense has well scouted this Michigan Tech offense, because that one, as you said, Beeler knew where that play was going pre-snap.
He really did. Now it sets up a 45-yard field goal.
So this will be a 45-yard attempt from the right hash. And the kick is on the way, has plenty of distance, and it is good. So Michigan Tech gets the long field goal from Avery Kaharski, and they pull within 4. It's 14-10, 2:47 to play first half. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football. J.J. Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium. Michigan Tech gets the field goal, kicks off. It's fielded by the up-back Austin Bills, who gets out near the 30-yard line. So Michigan Tech going with the pooch kicks after their scores here in the first half. Austin Bills was sure-handed with it, and so SVSU will take over. 2:43 to play in the half, and especially as we have seen on the Cardinals' 2 scoring drives, that's more than enough time for SVSU to get some more points on the board before halftime. SVSU won the toss and deferred, so the Cardinals will receive the second half kickoff.
These scoring drives are so fascinating. Michigan Tech opened with a scoring drive of 14 plays. They just had a field goal drive of 12 plays.
McKenzie throws to the far side, incomplete, little bit low, as he was going for the quick out to Joseph Walker, and Walker got his hands on it, but it was down around his thighs, and that's one of those where you don't have a lot of time to find it coming out of your break, and so you're looking for it up more towards shoulder level.
A little low and a little early. And by the way, to complete my thought, the Cardinals 2 scoring drives, 3 plays and 7 plays.
Blitz coming. McKenzie throws to the far side. Here, Joseph Walker with a tremendous catch in traffic to pick up the first down. He had the big 56-yard touchdown for the game's opening score against Ferris State last week, the redshirt freshman out of Indianapolis. McKenzie now will have Jamerson switch to his left hip on first down. Blitz coming. Does McKenzie feel it? Yes, he does. He's under pressure, throws to the near side, and incomplete as I couldn't tell if McKenzie ever really knew that Austin Hake, the linebacker, was right behind him, but he did get rid of the football to live to play another snap.
You wonder if that concept of hearing footsteps is real, because it looked like any minute now Hake was going to catch up to the quarterback. Mason didn't seem to be in any panic. He kept waiting for somebody to break free downfield. When that didn't happen, he wisely dumped it out of bounds.
2nd and 10. McKenzie, quarterback draw here, gets one block, dives forward, gets to about the 44-yard line. It's a short gain, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. SVSU leading 14-10. They'll have it on 3rd down when we return. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
And it's time for the Myers Shopping Cart Toss.
Constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete, time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest-ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
J.J. Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium. 14-10 our score. SVSU on top. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. SVSU will have it 3rd and 8 from their own 44-yard line. Conversion for the Cardinals here would be huge, as it would give them a chance to score once more before halftime. SVSU has 2 timeouts remaining. Michigan Tech has 1 left at its disposal.
Cardinals found some success early by looking to Terrence Brown out of the backfield as a receiver. Interested to see if that's the 3rd and 8 plan here.
Cardinals also have Dub Williams in at a tight end to the left. Right now, Joe Walker also has single coverage to the left. McKenzie drops back, has a good pocket. He's throwing to the near side, looking for Dub Williams. Does he hold on? Yes, what a catch by the senior tight end out of Belleville.
And what a great job of protection, because that pattern took a long time to develop, as Dub had to come all the way across the field. And then the pass has to be on the money right before it goes out of bounds on the sidelines. And Dub able to get those big feet in and move the chains. Really good job by the tight end, who does not get a lot of pass opportunities. He's usually in for blocking.
Here, McKenzie throws over the middle. He's got a man, makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Good tackle made by Michigan Tech after the reception was made there by Braden Hill. Cardinals are not going to use a timeout yet. That's a gain of 5. Minute 20 and ticking to play here in the first half.
Lots of time. With 2 timeouts on the board, the clock not yet a factor.
McKenzie surveys the scene. His first option not there. Then throws back against the middle. Caught by Walker. Holds onto the football. Threw a big hit from behind, and the Cardinals will move the chains again. Good job that time by Josh Cribben, the linebacker. Tried to strip it loose, but Walker held on to it.
And the Cardinals that time benefited from today's holding embargo. So we'll call it fairly both ways.
Blitz coming. Can the Cardinals pick it up? They do. McKenzie's got all kinds of time. He's got a man open in the end zone. It's Walker. He goes for him, and he holds on for the catch. Touchdown, Saginaw Valley. What a play. What a throw. And the Cardinals get the last-minute score.
And how open was Walker? Well, the pass actually hung up in the air a little while, and the defenders would have been able to close that gap and knock it away. But he was so wide open, they couldn't get there on a full sprint. Really good recognition by McKenzie, and his second big scoring pass of this half.
That one's 28 yards. Castaneda coming on to attempt the extra point. Kick is on the way, and it is Good. So SVSU now on top 21-10, 48 seconds to play first half. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Why does the stat sheet list Brady Devereaux as being 5 of 7 passing?
J.J. Boehm, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium, where Mason McKenzie hits Joe Walker for a big touchdown, and SVSU on top 21-10. Cardinals kicking off, and the up back will call for a fair catch at the 20-yard line. That was Austin Hake, the linebacker. And will Michigan Tech try to do anything in these final 48 seconds of the half? Either way, that is a huge score right before the half for the Cardinals.
Mason McKenzie now with touchdown passes of 80 yards and 28 yards, and a very strong case could be made that the 28-yarder covered far more time in the air than the 80-yarder, which was essentially a dump-off to Terrence Brown Jr., who then turned on the Jets to score. Either way, very important way for the Cardinals to close the half, especially since I believe they get the ball to start the third quarter.
They do. Handoff here to Ruff. He runs into a pile.
And that answers our question as to what...
SVSU saying the ball came out. And it did!
Oh,
Saginaw Valley recovers the fumble.
I was just going to say that answers our question as to whether the Huskies had any plans to get aggressive before halftime. They simply handed it off right tackle, and Ruff coughs it up. Wow.
Adam LeDuc was the defensive end who stood up the play, set the edge on that side, and then he was immediately signaling that there was a fumble. That's a huge turnover by this Cardinal defense.
Oh.
And now SVSU can add to their 11-point lead, still 40 seconds to play in the half.
They can drop a sledgehammer within a minute of the end of this first half in ways that nobody saw coming.
McKenzie drops back to pass, rolling to his right. He's being chased, throws it to the near side, incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Tony Kennedy. That was an 8-second play for an incompletion.
Well, Mason went away from his initial receivers a little early. He had Folks and Terrence Brown on the left side. They did get open, but Mason gave up on him a little bit early in that play as he rolled to his right, lost track of what was happening on the left. Sometimes it's hard, it's easy to say from up here, but that patience in the pocket for just a beat longer gives your receivers a chance to find some separation.
2nd and 10 now. McKenzie throws to the near side, incomplete. That time, Folks ran his route back towards the middle of the field. McKenzie threw it to the outside, so there's a miss there. And then Sean Shahu, the SVSU offensive tackle, lost his helmet, so he has to check out for a play. David Anchondo will check in on what now is a 3rd and 10, and it's from the 25-yard line, so if SVSU can even get a chunk of it here, you put yourself in a situation where on a day when there's almost no wind to speak of, you can either make it a more manageable field goal, or if you get enough, you could potentially then go for it on 4th down.
Imagine being in the middle of November and there's no wind, there's really no chill. It's a little cloudy, but there's not any adverse climate conditions that could impact your kicking game or your passing game. over the years, JJ, you and I have both been at enough football games where days like this, we've seen a lot of snow. We've seen people bundled up like they were on the North Pole or in Houghton, Michigan. And this is just incredible. This whole stretch this season, the whole weather stretch has been really amazing.
I can recall a road trip up to Michigan Tech for a November contest where the stretch between Ishpeming and Baraga in the Upper Peninsula had gotten 2 feet of snow. But it had spared the Keweenaw Peninsula, and so Houghton was dry, and it was a sunny day. Temperature was in 40 degrees, and you had the Yoopers out there in shorts.
Of course, it was basically a summer afternoon. They were probably golfing a little bit up there. Why not? That's interesting. Yeah, in fact, as you look out at a really good, by the way, Cardinal home crowd here today, this is a great way to close out the home season. We've got folks looking very comfortable. They're bundled up a little bit, but for the most part, you couldn't ask for anything better here at the middle part of November, unless, of course, you ask for a Cardinal touchdown right here.
3rd and 10. McKenzie has a good pocket, throws to the near side. Caught! Dub Williams down to the 12-yard line.
How about this? The Cardinals have not, I guarantee you, have not put on tape 3rd down conversions to their tight end all season, especially on the same pattern that we saw Dub catch earlier, which is a very long developing play. He starts on the left side of the formation, crosses the field over to the right sideline, so great protection, and he was the primary target on that play as the Cardinals are surprising the Huskies with a new target, a new wrinkle in the passing game.
Dub Williams, he went through senior day festivities today. He's a tight end out of Belleville, Michigan. He has another season of eligibility if he chooses to use it.
I say he's listed as a junior.
So he is a 5th-year junior. Again, with that COVID year in there, you have players who their college careers get extended. And so he has another season of eligibility if he chooses to use it. He is also going through senior day festivities because he's going to be on track to graduate, so he could either continue playing, and if he does that, he could do it at SVSU, he could do it somewhere else. But also, again, he's been banged up this season. He's missed some games this season, and sometimes you get to the end of 5 years of college football, which is where he's at, and you say, you know what, I've done all that I reasonably want to do. So he's going to take some time after this season to make those decisions, but appreciate all he has done for the Cardinal program. And again, today being recognized as a senior on senior day.
And being the primary target on a couple of very important plays. That's a really cool way, if it does cap off his career, to cap off his career.
Cardinals have it 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. McKenzie drops back to pass again. Rolling to his right. Looking, throws over the middle. Braden Hill makes the catch. Touchdown, Saginaw Valley. The Cardinals get the turnover in the final minute of the half after already scoring in the final minute of the half, and then the Cardinals capitalize on the touchdown toss from Mason McKenzie to Braden Hill.
And the Huskies have 2 linebackers wearing number 8, so I don't know which one it was, but he completely lost track of his assignment in the end zone, and with excellent patience by Mason McKenzie, in the end, it was a really easy pitch and catch to a receiver that the defenders had lost track of completely.
Extra point from Castaneda is on the way, and it is good. So SVSU now on top, 28-10, 15 seconds to play first half. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete. Time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest-ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
The Detroit formula for making something great is simple. Hard work. Make it good, then make it better. Better, like Jets Detroit-style pizza. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
Tech Cam Williams, and now Michigan Tech, you would have to think, just takes a knee and hopes to regroup at halftime.
I'll tell you what, JJ, keep in mind that the last Cardinal touchdown was set up by Michigan Tech, essentially trying to run the clock out, handing the ball off to their star running back, and he does not come out of the play with possession of the ball. The Cardinals force the fumble, get it, and convert it into a touchdown. And, boy, everybody in the Michigan Tech sidelines a little stunned by that turn of events, especially since now, as they head in at halftime, when they come back out, the Cardinals go on offense.
SVSU takes a 28-10 lead into the locker room at halftime on Senior Day. Back in a moment, you are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
The GLIAC is the Conference of Champions. Since its inception in 1972, GLIAC teams have won 53 national championships and countless more individual championships.
Throughout the GLIAC, passionate fans come support our athletes in 21 NCAA-sponsored sports.
Just as important as being champions on the field.
The pool.
The court. The course.
The track.
GLIAC student athletes are champions in the classroom and the community.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The Conference of Champions.
At Garber Buick, better is a daily effort. We start every day with better in mind. Better prices, payments, and selection. That's a big part of it, but not the whole picture. We're constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work. See Garber Buick in Saginaw and get a better payment on a new Buick Encore or Envision. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Buick. State Street in Saginaw. Online, GarberBuick.com. Home of the low price guarantee.
If you want a career that requires a college degree, the clock starts now. And while time marches on, keep in mind that 97% of our students find their career when they graduate. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
Jets has been making the best Detroit-style pizza on the planet for over 40 years because we've always been committed to quality, like hand-pressed dough, fresh mozzarella, and sauce made from Mama Jet's secret family recipe, all baked to perfection for the thickest golden crunch. So go ahead, build your own Detroit-style pizza or order one of our specialties, like the all-meaty or Jet 10. Jets, better because it has to be.
Your husband is having a heart attack. The ambulance crew asks,
Which hospital?
before you answer, consider this. Covenant Healthcare is the region's most preferred hospital for both emergency and heart care. With an expert team of board-certified cardiologists and the Great Lakes Bay region's first and largest structural heart disease program.
Take us to Covenant.
Good answer.
It's time to take advantage of the lowest tuition of any state school in Michigan. A school where 90% of our students receive scholarships or grants. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
StoreMaster Exteriors is your one-stop shop for top-notch windows, roofing, siding, gutters, decks, and installation. StoreMaster will transform your home into the house you've been dreaming of. Their team of installers are fully licensed and insured employees, not subcontractors. StoreMaster delivers exceptional workmanship and unparalleled customer satisfaction. StoreMaster consultants will help you make the right decision for protecting your home and maximizing your value. Financing options are available. Call today for your free estimate.
Detroit formula for making something great is simple. Hard work. Make it good, then make it better. Better, like Jets Detroit-style pizza. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
Better is an everyday effort at Garber Chevrolet in Saginaw. Everything we do with better in mind. Better prices, payments, and selection. They're a big part of it, but not the whole picture. We're constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work.
See Garber Chevrolet in Saginaw and get a better payment on a new Chevy Silverado or better savings on a new Chevy Equinox.
The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chevrolet, Gratiot Road in Saginaw, home of the low price guarantee.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete. Time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your attention, please. Would Amron Richardson please report to the press box? Amron Richardson, please report to the press box.
half here between SVSU and Michigan Tech. It is the Cardinals in the lead on Senior Day, 28-10 over Michigan Tech. Watching some of those other games in Super Region 3, where SVSU comes into this one number 10 in the region, hoping for some help to be able to qualify for the NCAA Division II playoffs. Not off to the most encouraging start in the two contests we are watching most closely. At the half, Fort Hays State is leading Nebraska Kearney 24-0. Cardinals looking for Fort Hays State to lose that one, but again, Fort Hays State leading 24-0. And then in the other contest that we're watching, it is the University of Central Missouri at home leading 14-0 in its game. So both of those two contests not going the way that SVSU would prefer. The one surprising GLIAC score at the half is Davenport on the road at Ferris leads 9-7. And Ferris State right now number 1 in the region and number 1 or number 2 in the nation, depending on which poll you look at. Ferris State and Valdosta State are the top 2 teams in each poll. Ferris is number 1 in the D2Football.com poll, and they're number 2 in the coaches poll. But what we have seen, Bill, is that they had to go for 60 minutes against SVSU. It takes a lot out of you. We saw the same thing when SVSU did that to Grand Valley, and when they went to play Ferris the next week, Ferris won that game 34-7. So now we will see what happens in that contest within the GLIAC, where Ferris State hoping to come from behind in the second half, because if they win, then they would get the bye in the first round of the playoffs and have 2 weeks to prepare before they host the second round.
There are a lot of variables in this equation, and I will once again, as I did in the pregame show, quote that noted American philosopher Lloyd Christmas from the great American theatrical presentation Dumb and Dumber, when he said, "So you're telling me there's a chance?" Because that's really all you can ask for. This Cardinal team has 3 losses on its record. They're in a good position here as they enter into what would be the regular season finale. All 3 of those losses by 1 possession, 2 of them against teams ranked at the time in the top 5 in the country, 1 of them so tight, so controversial that this week, dare I say, a phone call was placed to apologize to the Cardinals for blowing crucial calls last week at Big Rapids.
One in particular.
Yes, I say all that because if the committee has some awareness and context, then they would give serious consideration to a team that has 3 losses on its record, knowing that 2 of them for sure came against really, really top-ranked teams, and that one of them could easily have gone the other direction, let's put it that way. So lots of things to play for, and if nothing else, we've got seniors that are in many cases wrapping up their college football careers today, and you want to do that with as good a memory, to leave as delightful a taste in one's mouth as you possibly can. And the Cardinals, right before the half, grabbed hold of this game in a way that probably even continues to surprise the Husky sidelines and their fan base, both those that made the trip to University Center and those that are joining us on FloSports. And the Cardinals will get the ball first here to start the second half. So a lot of things moving in SVSU's direction, and you cannot certainly control the results of other games that you hope go a certain direction. But here's hoping that somehow that door remains open, and that tomorrow afternoon when the announcements are made, that there would be an extra dose of joy in Saginaw.
What I will tell you is that no one wants to play this football team in the postseason, because the Cardinal defense has shown up very well week after week after week. And as you get into winter weather season and other things, defense is the thing that is generally the most constant in college football, and the Cardinals have had that all season long. We saw it right before the end of the half, where, as you said, Michigan Tech is just trying to take a safe running play off right tackle but instead SVSU forces a fumble and recovers, and they get the touchdown pass right before the end of the half to Braden Hill. So 2 touchdown passes in the final minute of the half for SVSU to take a 14-10 game to a 28-10 game.
And in a general football philosophical question and observation, I will simply say this. If you know that your team is, your primary desire is to run out the clock and get to the locker room, and you can do so in one snap, I have never understood handing off the ball in that moment, whether it's Michigan Tech today or in any instance. I've never understood taking the risk. If you know you've got one play and then you're just out of here for the half, then you just have your quarterback take a knee. And Michigan Tech provided the Cardinals with a really good example of the dangers of deciding to hand it off. He wasn't going to bust a run for 83 yards. It was always going to be run into the line and go down. So the Cardinals made him pay for it, and it continues to fuel one of my lifetime football fan questions. There are several on the list, but one of them is that one, and that is if you know your only goal is to get off the field, then minimize all risk whenever possible.
We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. SVSU leading Michigan Tech 28-10. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Day.
He makes an efficient return out of that one, pushes it out to the 40-yard line, and SVSU takes over there, leading 28-10 as we begin the third quarter.
Cardinals have made their bones through the air for the majority of the offense of this first half. Not much on the ground. We'll see if they go back to try to establish some dominance through the ground attack here as they open up the third quarter.
McKenzie keeps it himself, running to the left side, still on his feet. Finally brought down after a short gain. Ball came out, but after he was down. And so that'll be a short gain. And as you said, I'm sure SVSU will be trying to control the clock here in the third quarter as much as possible, but still a lot of time, so you can't just go in and suddenly take your foot off the gas. You've got to try to see if you can add to the Cardinals' current 18-point advantage.
Just by way of comparison, in the first half, the Cardinals had 9 rushes for 27 yards.
Gain of 1 on that carry, so it's 2nd and 9. R.J. Manning checks in at wide receiver. Here, though, handoff to Jamerson. He loses yardage on the play. Great job by Austin Schlicht, the defensive lineman out of Oxford, as he shoots the gap, makes the tackle for loss, and now SVSU looking at 3rd and long.
Boy, that play just fell apart right from the get-go. I don't know if that was an option for McKenzie to either plant the ball with Jamerson or keep it, but whatever the play call was, it went backwards.
McKenzie drops back to pass here, 3rd and long. They set up the screen. It's caught by Jamerson, and he's able to get out across the 40 to about the 44, well short of the line to gain. And so Michigan Tech does its job on the opening possession.
Yeah, that second down loss kind of set things back behind the chains too far, so the Cardinals do not capitalize on getting the ball first here to start the second half, and the Huskies get a stop that they probably felt like they desperately needed. You get the feeling that the Cardinals get one more touchdown on the board and they'll be able to pack it in.
Beautiful punt here by Castaneda, and Gregory has to call for a fair catch inside his own 10-yard line, as Rodrigo Castaneda does a good job of pinning Michigan Tech deep. 13:01 to play here in the third quarter. SVSU is leading Michigan Tech 28-10. You are listening to Saginaw Valley.
We're not sure if they're giving us the full commercial media break or not.
Now they are. So
okay.
You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare,
I told you a few moments ago that the Cardinals, up until that point, had only had a few rushes in the game. Now they have 11 carries for 23 yards. That's not much, right? On the other side of the ball, Michigan Tech has rushed it 25 times for 84 yards. So neither team dominating on the ground in any way, shape, or form. The Cardinals, of course, have made their living through the air today. A wonderful job, 14 of 22 for 250 yards for Mason McKenzie. And they enjoy a 28-10 lead as we resume play with the Huskies backed up to their own end zone.
Will once again be Alex Freeze at quarterback for Michigan Tech. We did see Alex Bueno come in for a few plays in the first half, but he took a big hit from Micah Kretzinger, the SVSU linebacker, and has not returned. Freeze on first down, and I thought we saw some movement on the right side of the Michigan Tech offensive formation.
You think someday that a player like Bueno is able to tell his kids, yeah, I played football against that guy you're watching on TV right now. In fact, one day in Saginaw, I let go of a pass, and I don't really know where I went after that because number 6 made his impression on me.
It is a false start against Michigan Tech, so that will back up the Huskies even further. But, yes, I have a feeling that if you were a college football player and you got a chance to go head-to-head with a future NFL player, which, Micah Kretzinger has put himself in a very favorable position to be able to do, that, yes, I have imagined that's a story that gets passed on for a generation or two.
There are probably still some guys talking about how they played against Trevor Nowaski, for instance.
Correct.
As there should be.
Former SVSU linebacker, now with the Detroit Lions. 1st and 14 following the penalty. Freeze, play action, throwing to the near side, into coverage. What a catch along the near sideline. Outstanding coverage by Ellison, but somehow Ethan Hull just was able to reach over Ellison's helmet, bring it in, and then finish the completion all the way down to the ground.
It's so hard to teach those defensive backs to turn around and look for the ball, but had Ellison done it that time, it would have hit him in the face mask. Really good catch, pretty good coverage. Oh boy.
Now we've got a loose ball. Leonard Henry for SVSU trying to pounce on it, but we're going to have a false start on Michigan Tech. After relatively few penalties against the Huskies, in fact, no penalties on the Huskies in the first half, 2 false start penalties here to start the second half.
And, for whatever it's worth, on the Huskies' 2-deep roster, they have 2 guys listed at center, 52 Ethan Post, 63 Austin Venema. Neither of them are playing center right now, and I don't know if this is a change in the personnel in the field, but the last couple of snaps have had no rhythm to them. Caden Van Sickle is currently at center.
On first down, Freeze rolling out to the far side. Pass is caught by Michalak, and then DJ Volts knocks him out of bounds after a gain of about 10.
It's funny how so many different components of your offense need to be in rhythm for everything to work, and certainly that center to quarterback exchange is the most important. If you're a jazz band, that's the drummer. You've got to have everything in perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and even that last snap was a little bit high and not in the rhythm that Freeze was looking for.
2nd and 5. Freeze, hands to Ruff. He's hit from the backside, but then falls forward and does pick up the first down. Again, we have seen Ruff do a very good job running through contact at 11 carries for 30 yards in the first half, and those were 30 hard-earned yards.
Ankle tackles do not work against Mr. Ruff. He is a bulldog of a runner. A perfect fit for that UP mindset where you might have a home game sometime in ankle-deep snow.
Huskies have it now 1st and 10 from their own 38. Freeze play action again. Wants to go to Willis, can't. Now he's going to be tackled by Harold Irby III, who gets a sack on Senior Day.
Good awareness, too, because there was a little bit of room to run for Freeze on that left side. Irby looks up. He was being blocked at the time, but was able to shake it off and come up with a sack.
And his mother seated about 5 rows right in front of us with the 45 on the back of her sweatshirt. Very happy to see that play by her son as she pulls out the rose from her.
Rose and the pom-poms. I mean, Mom came fully prepared today.
Well, they hand out the roses. It's a long-standing Senior Day tradition here at SVSU, and she's very excited after that play. 2nd and 11. Big pressure here on Freeze, trying to take off and run, and Brandon Rawls knocks him out of bounds. That may be another sack, depending on where they mark his forward progress.
Yeah, I love watching the discipline of a player like Rawls, because there was an attempted pump fake by Freeze in the hopes of getting Rawls to leave his feet. He didn't even flinch. He just kept coming after the quarterback, and that was about a 1.5-yard loss, setting up 3rd and 12, and that will go down as a sack.
So now 3rd and 12 for Michigan Tech after consecutive negative plays. 3-receiver package. Freeze from the shotgun again. Drops back. Throws over the middle. He's got a man in Michalak, and do they give him forward progress? They do, right at the sticks. The near side official, I don't think saw it as favorably as the far side official, but regardless, they give him 12 yards. That was a very well-run route by Michalak, and the Huskies convert on 3rd and 12.
Yeah, the only question I had was if Michalak had voluntarily given up the first down yardage by running back a little bit, but they gave him the forward progress and moved the chains.
So now Michigan Tech out to their own 48-yard line. Freeze, play action. Drops back to pass, throws to the far side, and this is going to go for no gain as Brandon Rawls read that well and dropped Drew Collins, playing tight end for Michigan Tech today.
Listed as a quarterback.
Correct. He's listed as a backup quarterback out of Montague on the west side of the Lower Peninsula, but has been lined up at tight end throughout today's contest.
Well, if you're the guy who wants to be a quarterback, but you find you're not going to get playing time at that position, the best thing you can do is say to the coaches, put me wherever you need me. Get that playing time and get that experience.
2nd and 9. Handoff here, and Micah Kretzinger read it all the way and makes the tackle for loss.
Yeah, he was not guessing at all. That was right from the get-go. Micah was coming in for that running back. I don't know if you would technically label it a run blitz, but when Micah does it, it's a run blitz.
Something in reading his keys, he knew exactly where that play was going.
Yeah.
He knew exactly which gap was going to be available to him. He shot through it, made the tackle for loss, and now Michigan Tech looking at 3rd and 10.
And there are times when a lineman or a quarterback or a running back can tip the play without knowing it by how they line up or how they're leaning or how their feet are arrayed. You've heard the concept of a baseball pitcher tipping his pitches by how he holds his glove. Sometimes you can find that in the key players of an offense, and perhaps Micah picked up on a tell there, but made a beeline for the ball carrier and brought him down with a stop. Now 3rd and 10 as Michigan Tech's going to burn a timeout.
Stops the clock with 7:46 to play, 3rd quarter. SVSU leading 28-10. In another GLIAC game underway, Ferris has taken the lead back from Davenport. Ferris now on top 14-9. That game went midway through the 3rd quarter. Late in the 3rd quarter, it is Wayne State leading Northern Michigan 24-7.
So let me ask you this. In that Ferris-Davenport game, which would be the more beneficial outcome to SVSU?
In my judgment, in terms of advancing for playoff consideration, you want the top of the region to hold serve, so to speak.
Yeah.
So Ferris State winning, in my judgment, would be more advantageous. Plus, they beat SVSU head-to-head.
Right.
So there's no opportunity for SVSU to leapfrog them the way that they could leapfrog Indianapolis. 3rd and 10. Freeze back to pass. Has a good pocket. Thrown. Broken up by Micah Kretzinger. So on the previous play, he attacks it aggressively, makes the tackle for loss. The next play, he retreats in coverage, has the wide receiver out of the slot, and breaks up the pass.
I was watching that play develop, and I had my eyes on the backfield to see what kind of pressure the Cardinals were bringing, and I kept thinking, where's 6? Where's 6? And all of a sudden, I follow the flight of the ball, and 6 is back, breaking up the pass. The guy is everywhere.
Michigan Tech high kick here. Terrence Brown not going to try to field it, and it does go into the end zone for a touchback, as that time Brendan Locke was hoping to get a favorable bounce as he landed it at about the 2-yard line. 7:31 to play here in the third quarter. SVSU leading 28-10. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
The GLIAC is the Conference of Champions. Since its inception in 1972, GLIAC teams have won 53 national championships and countless more individual championships.
Throughout the GLIAC, passionate fans come support our athletes in 21 NCAA-sponsored sports.
Just as important as being champions on the field.
The pool.
The court. The course.
The track. GLIAC student athletes are champions in the classroom and the community.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The Conference of Champions.
At Garber Buick, better is a daily effort. We start every day with better in mind. Better prices, payments, and selection. That's a big part of it, but not the whole picture. We're constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work. See Garber Buick in Saginaw and get a better payment on a new Buick Encore or Envision. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Buick. State Street in Saginaw. Online, GarberBuick.com. Home of the low price guarantee.
The lead at home, and they just got the go-ahead touchdown, so Missouri Southern had
That's
tied
the first
it up.
half score?
There's 10:55 to go.
There's 28-21 with 11 minutes to go in the half?
Correct. So that is a shootout
Oh my goodness.
in Warrensburg, Missouri.
Watch. That may have to be a Flowcast later this afternoon. That sounds like a video game.
And we'll try to get the score for the other game that is between Fort Hays State and Nebraska Kearney, as that one was 24-0 Fort Hays State at the half.
Cardinals would happily sign up for a road trip to any of the above.
And Nebraska Kearney has gotten the first 2 scores of the second half, so that is now 24-14.
All right, so you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. Here, handoff to Jamerson. He's got a chance. Off of left tackle, gets out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line.
You know, we've got these 2 very young, capable broadcast assistants with us here in the booth. I hope they have had, in the Boehm household, the opportunity to soak in the classic that is Dumb and Dumber over the years. Yeah, you guys
I think so.
Okay,
I'm getting a nod.
If not, that's tonight's family entertainment, easily. It's a classic.
2nd and 7 for SVSU, who leads 28-10. McKenzie throws over the middle. Pass caught by Sam Dursa, the slot receiver of Detroit Catholic Central, and that's a first down.
That was a flat-footed, quick zinger release from McKenzie. I wasn't even sure where he was throwing it. He obviously was, but he didn't set up in the classic quarterback stance to throw the ball. It was basically flat-footed. I think everybody on the defensive side was caught off guard by how fast the ball came out.
Handoff to Jamerson, running to the right side this time. Breaks one tackle. Finally shoved out of bounds as he crosses the 35-yard line out to about the 37.
I will not add a name to this, JJ, but I will say that there is one particular Cardinal lineman thoroughly enjoying today's no holding calls embargo. You know, as I mentioned, as long as it's going both ways, and it is, the linemen are going to enjoy it. And, oh, my goodness, I think it's a felony in 38 states for what's been taking place on both sides of the ball.
Gain of 7 sets up 2nd and 3 McKenzie, all kinds of time, looking. Now he's going to reverse field, go back to his left. Is he going to take off and run? Yes, he is. Shoulder dip, does get to the sideline. Maybe got a yard on the play. Good job by Hunter Beekle, the safety for Michigan Tech, because we talk about how difficult it is to stay with Mason McKenzie in the open field, and Beekle did that time.
Really good protection of Mason and really good coverage by the Huskies. It was like a standstill. Nobody knew where to go, how to break free, and receivers could not find any separation.
So SVSU will have it 3rd and 2 from their own 39-yard line. Cardinals leading 28-10. Walker comes in motion to the near side. Handoff to Jamerson on second effort. He's going to be close.
And I don't think he...
Well, the near sideline official is immediately coming in and saying, move the James.
I think that's a very friendly spot because the far side official is barely over the 40-yard line. Yeah, the near side official was summarily overruled on that call, and now he's putting up the 4th down signal. Coach Brady asking him, you just said to move it forward.
He did. It's going to be 4th and less than a yard, and we'll see what SVSU decides to do here.
Interesting discrepancy between officials, and that's what Brady's asking about. He's like, what is going on? Now we're going to burn a timeout to talk things over on this 4th down. He said, you just signaled 1st down.
So, and if you're the coach, what that does is you're immediately thinking about your 1st down play call.
Yep, not your 4th down decision.
And so I understand the frustration on the part of Ryan Brady because there was no question that the linesman to the near side did signal.
And now the White Hat's coming to talk with his linesman probably about that premature signal. Here's the reality. You don't signal it unless you actually saw it. You can't assume it. And I know that with line judges on both sides of the field, they've got to communicate with each other before the signal's made. So it's not the end of the world, but he did jump the gun a little bit. Totally understand why Coach Brady's irritated because now instead of 1st down on 4th and inches, the Cardinals bring in the punt unit. I thought they might go for it.
I think leading 28-10.
Yep.
The Cardinals saying we're just going to play it safe here and try to make Michigan Tech go a long distance.
Had 10 men out there until just a second ago, so now things slow down again to allow any potential substitutions for the Huskies. Cardinals ran out their 11th player quite late.
They do now have him out there, and so
there's still confusion out there right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So SVSU taking a long time.
I think the play clock's going to run down because the Cardinals might have 12 men out there right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, yeah, there's personnel issues and a lot of yelling going on in the Cardinals sidelines, yelling at each other this time.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to burn another timeout, so they decided, let's back it up 5 yards.
And that's a surprising penalty for Week 11. By Week 11, you usually know who your punt cover unit is.
Yeah, somebody had kind of fallen asleep.
So SVSU takes the penalty and still will look to punt it away. Bad snap. Castaneda does get it away. It's a knuckling kick to the near side. Takes a favorable SVSU bounce. Now takes a very favorable SVSU roll. And so that's going to go all the way down to the 20-yard line. And it's going to look like that's what SVSU had in mind all along. As SVSU continuing to hold the halftime lead, 28-10, 4:08 to play 3rd quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
The GLIAC is the Conference of Champions. Since its inception in 1972, GLIAC teams have won 53 national championships and countless more individual championships.
Throughout the GLIAC, passionate fans come support our athletes in 21 NCAA-sponsored sports.
Just as important as being champions on the field.
The pool.
The court.
The course.
The track.
GLIAC student athletes are champions in the classroom and the community.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The Conference of Champions.
At Garber Buick.
Jets has been making the best Detroit-style pizza on the planet for over 40 years because we've always been committed to quality, like hand-pressed dough, fresh mozzarella, and sauce made from Mama Jet's secret family recipe. All baked to perfection for the thickest golden crunch. So go ahead, build your own Detroit-style pizza or order one of our specialties like the all-meaty or Jet 10. Jet's better because it has to be.
Your husband is having a heart attack. The ambulance crew asks,
Which hospital?
before you answer, consider this. Covenant Healthcare is the region's most preferred hospital for both emergency and heart care. With an expert team of board-certified cardiologists and the Great Lakes Bay region's first and largest structural heart disease program.
Take us to Covenant.
Good answer.
I do happen to know because I have been to Kearney, Nebraska for the 2011 playoff game.
That is not a place that has stamped my passport at any point. Kearney, Nebraska.
Right in the center of the state of Nebraska.
Now, if the Cardinals do get the call to play again next week in the playoffs, we go private jet, right?
If it is of sufficient distance, then yes, indeed, it becomes a charter flight.
Oh, giddy. No, I just mean you and me. Private jet.
No, I don't think we're going to get quite that fortunate.
That's how Aikman and Buck travel. Come on.
Michigan Tech takes over at their own 20-yard line. Pass thrown inside, and the pass is caught by Hull, who got about to the 25-yard line before he was brought down.
Boy, given the way that the Huskies moved the ball the opening drive of the game, I thought, man, this could be a rough day for the defense. I mean, Michigan Tech looks comfortable. They've mixed it up really well. The Cardinals have slammed the door shut since that opening quarter.
2nd and 5. Freeze throws to the far side, has his man Michalak. Jasper Beeler makes the tackle, but not before Michalak picks up the first down.
Alex Freeze pass complete to Brandon Michalak.
Quick moving third quarter. We're already down almost to 3 minutes left.
A gain of 6. First down.
SVSU leading 28-10. As Cardinals have got on top 14-10, then got 2 touchdowns in the final minute of the first half. Leonard Henry putting some pressure on Freeze, who just throws this one away well over the head of Willis, the only receiver in the area.
Freeze has been accurate when he's been able to set his feet, but he is not going to be the roll left, throw back right quarterback that beats you. That's what they tried to do with him that time, and the ball wasn't close to anybody in either uniform.
In Warrensburg, Missouri, Central Missouri now leading Missouri Southern 35-28.
Oh boy.
With 4 minutes to play in the second quarter.
In the second quarter. I cannot wait to see that final score. Oh my goodness.
Cardinals hoping for a couple of losses from teams in front of them. Michigan Tech spending a timeout here. That is their second timeout used already here in the second half with 2:56 to play in the third quarter. So again, the easiest or the simplest path for SVSU to extend its season is, with SVSU coming in at number 10 in the region, is number 8 and 9 lose. If SVSU climbs to 8, Indianapolis stays at 7. SVSU leapfrogs Indianapolis because the Cardinals beat the Greyhounds head to head.
Okay, so let's do this. I know we have a lot of folks that are listening. They're really big fans of the local team. They want to make sure SVSU does well. But really, to track all these permutations is difficult. Give us the names of the 2 schools that folks can keep an eye on their scores this afternoon to know where the Cardinals stand.
Well, the teams you want to win are Missouri Southern. They're playing at Central Missouri. And you want Nebraska Kearney to win. They're playing at home against Fort Hays State. Those are the 2 teams that you want to win. That's the simplest path for SVSU to qualify for the NCAA Division II playoffs.
Very good.
Here, Freeze backpedaling, has Danley in his face, almost intercepted by Eli Gordon. Cardinals sent 2 linebackers on the blitz that time, Micah Kretzinger, and he got a low block.
He got chopped.
Yep, and it's pointing towards his knee. And I think he's looking for somebody to come in and replace him. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
I don't know if he wants to come out or if he's just looking for the defensive play call, but I can tell you this. If you're an All-American linebacker and somebody takes a shot at your knees, you're going to make a little mental note, and that person's going to get a little visit from you at some point before this game ends. I thought that was a penalty, by the way.
3rd and 10. Freeze firing deep down the far side into traffic, incomplete. Sean Hodges with very good coverage along the far side.
And my favorite part about that Hodges coverage is that he turned and located the ball early and then was in no danger of running into the receiver because he knew where everything was unfolding in front of him. That was really, really well defended.
So Michigan Tech now will have to bring out the punt unit. Brendan Locke has been busy today for the Huskies. Cardinals bring pressure. Locke does get it away. Nice high spiraling kick. Terrence Brown calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line.
Terrence Brown opens the scoring for the Cardinals way back in the first quarter with an 80-yard touchdown reception. He accounted for 75 of those 80 yards. It was a dump-off pass to him, and he just sprinted down the sidelines. Fairly quiet since then, a couple of receptions, but the Cardinals have really not focused on the ground attack thus far. Terrence Brown, 4 carries for 10 yards. Jamerson, 5 carries for 9 yards.
Jamers is in the backfield here. Instead, they go with a quick pass to Walker. Makes the catch, spins forward, and he's going to be close to first down yardage. They're going to give him. Well, so this time the 2 officials, the 2 linesmen on each side look at one another and they say, yes, that was 10 yards.
That's how it should
go.
Yeah, that's how it should go. You communicate with your officiating partner.
Handoff here to Terrence Brown. Nice run up the A gap, and he picks up 9.
I don't think, by the way, JJ, that we are done seeing the deep ball attempts by the Cardinal offense in this game. They have worked some underneath passes. They have worked the ground game here a little bit, and a little bit at a time. It's drawing the deepest parts of the Husky secondary a step or 2 closer to the line. Let's see if they're softening things up at some point on this drive for a deep ball.
Here, pitch to Brown, trying to pick his way. And, boy, I don't think he picked up much forward progress at all. Michigan Tech did a good job stacking up the play and then holding on at the point of attack, and Brown just never had anywhere to go.
The quick pitch has not been there today for the Cardinal offense.
Had been working earlier in the season, but, yes, as you said, today that just has not been there.
Let's get our first look at Mitch DeBrincat coming in. I didn't know that we'd see him play today, but he's just checked into the game wearing number 89. Left ankle is heavily, heavily taped.
He'll go in as the tight end to the left side of the formation. Dub Williams, a tight end to the right. And McKenzie wanted to keep it himself. He's still going to try to do it. Will try to outrun the pursuit to the edge. Cannot do it. And that Michigan Tech crowd that has traveled well today has something to cheer about as their defense makes the stop on 3rd and short.
That play was designed to go around the left end with McKenzie, but the blocking did not provide the path for him. So the Cardinal punt unit comes back out.
And I think McKenzie wanted to run that more between the tackles.
Yeah, it was just all plugged up.
That was plugged up, and then he could not outrun the pursuit of Michigan Tech to the far sideline. Castaneda just does get this one away. Fair catch called for and made by Gregory at the 19-yard line. Castaneda had a little bit of contact talking to the head referee. Not going to get a call.
No, he was not. That was acting. There was no call needed there, and I think the official was kind of smiling as he went by him, and certainly not buying whatever was attempting to be sold. Still a good punt. It was under some considerable pressure, so a good punt sets things up right at the 20-yard line.
10 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Scoreless 3rd. How about that?
SVSU leading 28-10. Freeze from the shotgun. Play action. Throws to the far side. Has his man Willis. Makes the catch. Gets out to the 34-yard line, and that will be enough for a first down, and that will bring us to the close of the third quarter. SVSU still leading Michigan Tech 28-10. Back in a moment. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
The GLIAC.
Take us to Covenant.
Good answer.
It's time to take advantage of the lowest tuition of any state school in Michigan. A school where 90% of our students receive scholarships or grants. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
StoreMaster Exteriors is your one-stop shop for top-notch windows, roofing, siding, gutters, decks, and installation. StoreMaster will transform your home into the house you've been dreaming of. Their team of installers are fully licensed and insured employees, not subcontractors. StoreMaster delivers exceptional workmanship and unparalleled customer satisfaction. StoreMaster consultants will help you make the right decision for protecting your home and maximizing your value. Financing options are available. Call today for your free estimate.
J.J. Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium. Senior day here. Good home crowd on hand. Great senior class for SVSU. Hoping to hold on and end the regular season of their careers with a victory 28-10 in Warrensburg, Missouri. Cardinals want Missouri Southern to win. They have now pulled within a point. It's 35-34. Central Missouri on top.
First half.
1 minute, 1 second to play in the second
quarter. I cannot
quarter.
believe how many take the over in that one.
Pass to the near side for Willis. Makes the catch. DJ Volts rides him out of bounds. Where? Very close to first down yardage. And it looks like they will give him enough to move the chains.
They've not targeted Willis as much today as I thought they might. I mean, granted, the coverage has been really good, but the Cardinals they've provided a little bit of space for Willis and not as much pressure on Freeze as I think they will in this fourth quarter, knowing that it's passing time for the Huskies. Let's see what kind of blitz packages they dial up.
Michigan Tech brings a man in motion to the near side. Freeze is back to pass, throws to the far side, almost intercepted as Willis ran his route a little short, and then Hodges found the ball late, almost got a paw on it.
I was expecting to see Micah Kretzinger come in on a blitz from his linebacker spot, and instead he kind of laid back in a soft zone, was underneath that play. The throw was so high, though, nobody could get to it. Freeze, by the way, on the day, 11 of 25 for 117 yards.
Drops back to pass here. Some pressure coming. Now is he going to take off and run? No, he's going to throw deep down the far side. Incomplete. Jasper Beeler had very good coverage on Willis that time.
Well, there's no mystery, I guess, as to where the Huskies are looking right now. It seems to be Willis or bust.
Well, again, Ethan Champney, their other good wide receiver, who's a local product out of Saginaw Swan Valley, he's injured, unavailable today. So they have gotten some contributions from Michalak and others out of the wide receiver position, but their consistent performer over the last few years is Darius Willis, the senior, and he's lined up in the slot to the left here on 3rd and 10. Freeze, play action, good pressure coming up the middle. He's hit. He gets away from the first man, though, gets a block downfield, and he's going to have the first down. I'll tell you what, Alex Freeze has done a very good job picking up first downs today when the play breaks down.
And Coach Brady is livid. There was supposed to be some containment on that left side. I don't know which player was responsible for Freeze, but there was somebody assigned to him. He got outside of that containment, and as you said, JJ, he's been really effective today when plays break down, getting out of the pocket, scrambling. That was a big pickup.
That was his 10th rushing attempt today. On first down here, handoff to Ruff, coming to the near side. Good job by Christian Ellison, the cornerback, to stick his head in there and make a good, sure tackle on the running back.
Yeah, Ellison, I mean, that's not anybody's preferred route of playing defense. When you're the corner and you come up and see this bowling ball of a running back coming at you with a full head of downhill steam, Deion Sanders used to call those business decisions. where he would just kind of wave at him as they went by. So good tackle. You give up a couple of yards as you get steamrolled, but you just hang on and bring down the ball carrier no matter what.
Clock continues to move. Now inside 13 minutes to play fourth quarter. SVSU leading 28-10. And here it's a swing pass to the far side. They go with a trick play, and it's caught. Beeler is going to make the tackle on Michalak inside the 20-yard line. The Cardinals were so aggressive on the swing pass to Kuntz that he couldn't get a lot on it. And so even though the trick play works for Michigan Tech, it's not a huge play as Beeler does make the tackle at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, there were a lot of moving parts to that play, and the Cardinals fortunate that it did not end up in a touchdown. But as you said, the rhythm was thrown off just enough to allow the defense to catch up to the second receiver on a two-pass play.
Michigan Tech, a lot of movement here on 1st and 10. Freeze back to pass, rolling to his right. He's going to be chased by Daly, who makes a nice tackle at about the 17-yard line. Alfred Daly Jr., the senior out of Toledo Catholic Central, has had a fine Cardinal career and made a very nice open field tackle there.
Yeah, and kept his discipline, kept his assignment locked in. Instead of biting on a play fake or a pump fake, he knew the quarterback was not throwing that ball. He was just going to keep it. So good job to close the gap and bring down number 11.
Michigan Tech still taking their time, trailing by 18 in the fourth quarter. Freeze drops back to pass here, lofts it to the near side, incomplete. Now a late penalty flag comes out.
That might be on the offense. It's not. Wow. Okay, well.
That's the old post-up play where they're trying to get the wide receiver to kind of post up basketball style against the cornerback, and it is Ethan Hull who then winds up hurt.
I honestly thought they were going to call that as OPI, or offensive pass interference, because there was a two-handed shove off to get separation by the receiver. That's not the call that was made, and now the receiver is down at the 2-yard line and perhaps landed awkwardly after going up to try to grab a pass that was, well, it was uncatchable.
Correct.
In college, I don't know that uncatchable factors into a pass interference call. If it does, then that should have been waved off.
Again, watching the scoreboard today in Week 11 as SVSU 7-3 on the season, number 10 in Super Region 3. Other GLIAC games in progress. Ferris State has now retaken the lead in Big Rapids. They're on top 21-9 in that contest. That game has now moved into the fourth quarter. At home, Wayne State is leading Northern Michigan by a score of 27-14. The other two games that SVSU fans are interested in involve teams in the MIAA, not the Michigan Conference, the MIAA that's primarily in Kansas and Missouri, as right now Fort Hays State, the team the Cardinals want to lose, is leading 24-14 over Nebraska Kearney, that game in the fourth quarter. In the other game, SVSU wanting Central Missouri to lose. They are leading 35-34. That game still with a minute to play in the first half.
I can't get over that number of points. I'll have to look up and see if that's been their pattern throughout the years, just to have no defense and it's a shootout every game.
After the penalty, Michigan Tech has it, 1st and goal from the 5. Freeze, hands off to Ruff, cut back, gets down to about the 3. Micah Kretzinger on yet another tackle. That gives him 9 on the day. Alfred Daly Jr.'s got 10. Eli Gordon's got 10. Micah Kretzinger with a 1.5 tackles for loss performance on his final home game. The All-American linebacker out of Jackson. Again, Michigan Tech continuing to be deliberate here, looking to get a score that would pull them within 2 scores. Here it's a fake handoff. Freeze takes it himself, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan Tech.
Well, you got to give credit to the Huskies. That was a very effective drive. Yeah, they got helped out by a penalty, but for the most part, they moved the ball through the legs of Freeze, including on that final play for the touchdown. And now looking at 28-16, they will kick the extra point. I thought they might go for 2 to make it a 10-point game, but there must be a different chart on the far sidelines than most coaches would use.
They do go for the extra point, and they make it, so it's now 28-17, SVSU on top, 10:35 to play fourth quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Come away with some points.
Some points, some time burned, all the good things you could possibly sign up for would be very, very welcome. And by the way, all day long, no kickoffs have gone all the way back to the Cardinal deep receivers. They've all, I think, gone to Austin Bills.
They have. So far, I think he's fielded all 4 of them.
We'll see if he gets another chance here, as I don't think they want to kick it back there to the Cardinals' electric kick returner, Jaquan Howard.
Has a kickoff return for touchdown on the season, has a couple of others that have gone deep into opponent's territory. Crowd getting a little bit quiet here.
I was just going to say, if you thought we'd turn down the crowd, Mike, we have not.
And here they go with the onside kick. It goes 10 yards, and Michigan Tech recovers.
The kicker got his own onside kickback. That could not have been executed any better. Wow.
And so now SVSU's defense in a very important scenario where they've got to come out and keep Michigan Tech out of the end zone.
Wow. Hey, I have not seen that successfully done by a kicker since I think Pat McAfee did it when he was a Colt a million years ago, where the kicker dribbles the ball, it goes 11 yards, it bounces right up to him, and he falls on it. I mean, that's as well as you could possibly do. And now the Cardinal defense has got its work cut out for it.
So Michigan Tech, perfectly executed onside kick. Their crowd, their sideline is energized as they take over on their own 46-yard line. And Michigan Tech has possessed the football a lot today. They're going to have another one here. Handoff to Ruff, runs right into the line. Carson Bereni and Adam LeDuc among those who helped to bring him down after a gain of just a yard.
Somebody forgot at halftime to slip the memo into the Husky locker room that this was supposed to be a cakewalk second half when we went in up 28-17. So that's probably a courier issue or messenger issue that that thought was never delivered. They seem to be here to play till the end.
2nd and 9. Freeze from the shotgun. Play action this time. He's under pressure. He's going to try to get away. Throws over the middle, and it's caught by Michalak. What a great leaping grab down at the 36-yard line. And this Husky crowd, they are fired up.
I think Michalak might have surprised himself that he caught that ball. It was at the very top of his leap, and he caught the very bottom of the ball. But catch it he did, and hanging in there in the face of pressure, Freeze delivers another first down pass.
9.5 minutes to play. SVSU leading 28-17. Michigan Tech on the march. Freeze throws to the far side. He's got a man wide open. It's Willis, and he's going to be inside the 10-yard line. That time, Willis ran down the left sideline. Micah Kretzinger, the linebacker, was dropping into coverage, but Freeze was able to loop it over him. And just like that, Michigan Tech has it 1st and goal with a chance to pull within one score.
If it's possible for a team trailing by 11 to say that it has captured the momentum, that's what's happening. Michigan Tech with the touchdown, the successful surprise onside kick, and now getting it all the way down inside the 10.
Here it is pitched to the far side with Willis. He gets inside the 5.
Little misdirection.
Yep.
Jet sweep that time as Freeze just tossed the ball in the air as Willis was in motion, and one smooth rhythm later, they are down to the 3-yard line.
2nd and goal from there. Can this Cardinal defense keep them out of the end zone?
All those other scores JJ's been talking about mean nothing if the Cardinals don't take care of business here at home.
Freeze looks to the sideline. He'll drop back to the shotgun, and now Ryan Brady, the SVSU head coach,
he's in the end zone.
Sprinted down to get the attention of the official to call timeout. Stops the clock with 8:12 to play here in the 4th quarter. SVSU leading 28-17. Cardinals went into the locker room with all the momentum as they got a late touchdown to Joseph Walker, the wide receiver, to go up top 21-10. Then on the very next play from scrimmage, Michigan Tech fumbled. SVSU recovered, and then they found Braden Hill for another touchdown right before the half to go on top 28-10. Neither team scored. Neither team really threatened in the 3rd quarter, but here in the 4th quarter, Michigan Tech has put together a nice drive, and then they go for the onside kick, recover, and now they've made a couple of big plays to get all the way down to the SVSU 3-yard line.
And I think you could probably accurately file that onside kick in that trick play category,
Yep.
even though it's not something you've never seen before. It never crossed my mind, and I'm not sure it crossed the minds of anybody in the Cardinal special teams that it would happen that early in a game that's only 11-point difference, but it worked. And now the Huskies have a chance to really make this interesting with 8:12 left on the clock. Cardinal defense burns a timeout to try to get itself set, get itself ready, and perhaps come up with a stop.
2nd and goal from the 3.
Keep an eye on Freeze keeping it. He's done that a couple times today.
He's got 2 rushing touchdowns, both of the touchdowns for Michigan Tech. Here he does hand it to Ruff, and he dives in. Touchdown, Michigan Tech. So the Huskies have pulled within one score, and now they might go for 2. So they waited on their previous touchdown, and now they are going to go for 2. And this becomes a very, very important defensive play because a stop by the Cardinals makes it a 5-point game. You need a touchdown. If Michigan Tech gets the 2 points, they pull within a field goal.
If I'm Michigan Tech, I might just run the same play again. There was nobody in the way of stopping that one.
2-point try for Michigan Tech. And now we've got a penalty false start on Michigan Tech, and that is a very costly penalty.
I did not see the early movement, but that now makes this an 8-yard play instead of a 3-yard play if they decide to go for 2 again, which one would think they would.
Well, at this point, you're almost committed.
Right.
Now, if they get another one, they might decide it's not mathematically wise. But for SVSU, it is easier to defend the 2-point try from the 8-yard line than it is from the 3.
So now Willis sets up on the far left edge. He'd be your first area of concern.
They're going to go with a trick play. Hull's going to try to pass it. He's hit by Rawls and brought down. So Saginaw Valley ready for the trick play. Brandon Rawls makes the tackle. The 2-point try no good. SVSU on top, 28-23, 8:08 to play. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Better payments, better service. You will do better at Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Getting a better payment on your new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck is a big part of how you'll do better, but it's not the whole picture. Garber is constantly improving to be a better place to shop, get service, and work, because being better is a daily effort. The relentless pursuit of better. That's Garber Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bay Road in Saginaw. Online, garbercdjr.com.
At Covenant Healthcare, we take caring for kids very seriously. That's why we've established Covenant Children's Hospital. We have the region's only pediatric emergency care center and intensive care unit, and a birth center with a level 3 regional neonatal intensive care unit.
They have stickers!
We're dedicated to providing extraordinary care to infants and children so they can get back to the serious business of being kids.
Your college experience is waiting. It's time to compete. Time to learn, time to laugh, and time to unite. It's time to call the highest ranked dorms in the country home. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
The Detroit formula for making something great is simple. Hard work. Make it good. Then make it better. Better, like Jets Detroit style pizza. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
GLIAC was the receiver in the corner of the end zone who was supposed to get that ball, and because Volz did not bite on any of the misdirection on the underneath play, there was nowhere for that ball to be thrown. That's why the Cardinals came up with a stop. So really good discipline by Volz to stay with his assignment and not be drawn into the kind of the misdirection or the lure of the running back with the ball in motion. The running back or the receiver, I'm not sure who had the ball to throw in the end zone.
It was Ethan Kuntz Bryce Kuntz, who had attempted the pass on the trick play previously.
Also an unnecessarily tricky play for your team when you're trying to convert a 2-point opportunity. That seemed like a deep reach into the playbook. Sometimes offensive coordinators can outthink themselves.
SVSU does have the hands team in this time, and this time Michigan Tech will kick it deep. Braden Hill calls for a fair catch at the 14-yard line. That'll get brought out to the 25-yard line. And now an important possession for SVSU offensively. Can the Cardinals get a score to put this back to a 2-score margin?
Well, and the Cardinals have not, in the second half, have not done anything with the ball. So time consumption is key. So you've got to move the chains a couple times, and at some point, it's going to have to involve the ground game. So far today, on the ground, 18 carries, 41 yards.
McKenzie has all kinds of time. He's going to fire deep, incomplete. There was a lot of coverage there. He was looking for Walker, but the other receiver, who I think was Hill, had also kind of stopped his route there. And so
there were four white jerseys right there. That was a hold your breath moment for Cardinal fans. And it stops the clock at 8:01. And I know you're not going to anticipate killing the last 8 minutes of a game, but you've got to sustain a drive to some degree.
McKenzie has backside pressure, throws it up, and Eric Kraft was wide open, but because of the pressure from Michigan Tech, McKenzie didn't have time to let that play develop.
Husky sidelines going crazy, asking for a grounding call, but the truth is that ball didn't land all that far from Kraft. It was a miraculous effort by McKenzie to even get it close, but now in the blink of an eye, the Cardinals are looking at 3rd and 10, and a really important conversion moment here.
Cardinals go with 2 receivers tight to the formation. Now they've got movement from SVSU. And like you said, Bill, this Michigan Tech team, crowd, everybody here in black and gold is fired up as they are hoping to come on the road to SVSU and spoil Senior Day
Some really surprising composure moments here that SVSU has not struggled with all year. I mean, last week against Ferris State, I didn't see any procedure penalties or any of these little things that seem to be a little off today. Oh, dear.
And now there's a bad snap, and Michigan Tech has recovered. Michigan Tech falls on the football at the SVSU 15-yard line.
Well, that is an unraveling moment there. Something went wrong. The snap, I don't think, ever got to McKenzie.
I didn't see it get to McKenzie. So now SVSU's defense has got to keep Michigan Tech out of the end zone here.
Quite the turn of events here. A scoreless third quarter. But here in the fourth, it has been all Huskies, and the Cardinals have got to regroup.
Michigan Tech has all the momentum here, trying to get a go-ahead score. Freeze from the shotgun, the senior signal caller for Michigan Tech. Handoff to Ruff, running to the outside. He's got the corner, he's got some room, and he's going to be down inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, he just got around the edge where Kretzinger had laid out to try to grab him by the ankles. Once he got around Micah, it was a foot race to the corner, won by the running back, and now it is 1st and goal at the 3.
Michigan Tech on the doorstep of taking the lead after SVSU had controlled this game for a long stretch.
And by the way,
and Bueno has checked in at quarterback.
We see him again now for the first time since the first quarter.
Bueno hands it to Ruff, makes one man miss, but not Brandon Rawls, who wrestles him down very close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got down to the 2.
You'll have to explain this to me sometime over a fireside chat in the offseason, but why do you change quarterbacks now? You've done everything right in this fourth quarter with Freeze at quarterback, and now you bring in the freshman in crunch time. Maybe it works for him, maybe it doesn't. I just find it to be really unusual.
2nd and goal from the 2 for Michigan Tech.
That's truly bizarre. I mean, there's Freeze just standing on the sidelines waiting to come back in the game.
Bueno is at the controls here. And he's going to keep it himself, running to the near side, loses his footing, and goes down at the 5.
So the turf monster reaches up and grabs the freshman for a 3-yard loss, and now he checks out of the game. Freeze comes back in, and if I'm a Husky fan, I'm shaking my head thinking, why in the world did we just try that? If I'm a Cardinal fan, I'm thinking, do that again.
Well, they put Freeze back in. Again, Michigan Tech could easily be in 4-down territory here. Can the Cardinals come up with a stop on 3rd and goal from the 5? SVSU crowd now on its feet. Freeze going to try to take off and run. He's wrapped up by Carson Moreni for a sack back at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that was quarterback draw from the very beginning, and the Cardinals sniffed it out. There was nowhere for Freeze to go, and it looks like Michigan Tech is going to opt for field goal time, which is about the best you could ask for given how close they were down inside the 5. Really good job by the Cardinal defense coming in again to bail out the offense.
So now Michigan Tech will attempt the field goal by Avery Kaharski to pull within 2.
Watch the fake.
Kick is on the way, and it is good. So Michigan Tech has pulled within 2. It's 28-26. SVSU on top. 5:09 to play fourth quarter. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Take us to Covenant.
Good answer.
It's time to take advantage of the lowest tuition of any state school in Michigan. A school where 90% of our students receive scholarships or grants. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
StoreMaster Exteriors is your one-stop shop for top-notch windows, roofing, siding, gutters, decks, and installation. StoreMaster will transform your home into the house you've been dreaming of. Their team of installers are fully licensed and insured employees, not subcontractors. StoreMaster delivers exceptional workmanship and unparalleled customer satisfaction. StoreMaster consultants will help you make the right decision for protecting your home and maximizing your value. Financing options are available. Call today for your free estimate.
Lead 28-26, 5:09 to play fourth quarter.
Okay, I want you to say that score one more time.
28-26.
Okay, folks, it feels in this stadium like the Cardinals are losing by a couple of possessions. They have the lead. They led 28-10 at the half, so it's been a 16-0 second half for the Huskies. But if I'm talking to this Cardinal offense right now, I'm reminding them that A, we're leading this game, and B, we are 5 minutes away from closing it out. It is time for a sustained drive. The last thing we want to do is put the ball back in Michigan Tech's hands. And so it is time to be sure-handed. Got to get the connection between center and quarterback worked out. And then it is time for some of these guys on the offensive line to create some gaps and open things up for the running attack. Cardinals are also, by the way, all hands up front, anticipating another onside kick.
Michigan Tech has already executed one to perfection here in the fourth quarter. This time they're going to go with the high short pooch kick.
Look out.
And SVSU doesn't get to it. And who's falling on the football? Michigan Tech. They executed the pooch kick perfectly. Jaquan Howard couldn't get to it. And once it got to the ground, Michigan Tech got on it first. And now the SVSU defense back on the field.
Well, I'm sure Jaquan will hear this when he gets to the sidelines. He's got to come up and make that fair catch. Yep, once that ball hits the turf, it can go, and it did go, anywhere. It's an unpredictable oblong object, and when it hit the turf in front of Howard, it went right past him.
And I think he was trying to get to it.
Yeah, I think so too. It was really well executed. And the Cardinals get burned on another special teams play. And you talk about putting the pressure on your defense. Here we go again.
So SVSU sees Michigan Tech take over at the Cardinals' 23-yard line. Freeze. Keeps it himself, running to the left side. He's hit, still on his feet. He's bottled up after a gain of a yard. Each team with only one timeout remaining, so that also begins to become a factor here, as if Michigan Tech gets any points here, how much time remaining there is for the SVSU offense becomes of paramount importance.
It is not every day you see a game become a tale of two halves as starkly different as we have here today, but it has been all Michigan Tech here in the second half.
2nd and 9. Freeze back to pass. Going to throw to the far side into coverage. Is that caught? No.
Ooh.
The ball was caught, but was that Ethan Hull? Yes, Ethan Hull did not get a foot down inbounds.
Hang on. We have a conversation taking place between two officials. One who said very clearly incomplete.
And the one is saying complete.
The other one comes in and says complete. In other words, he would have seen a foot down in bounds. Now, you and I don't have the proximity to that play to know if that's an accurate call. They did talk about it. They have reset it. And now Coach Brady,
I think, is going to challenge this.
Well,
and again, this is so, we've talked about it on previous broadcasts. They don't have the same level of cameras they have at the Division I level, where they've got all the high-def cameras from every angle. So if SVSU calls for...
The challenge is whether or not the catch was inbounds or out of bounds.
And so the official SVSU has challenged, which again, I understand from the perspective of if this gets reversed, it's a huge advantage for SVSU. However, the fact, will there be a camera angle that clearly shows that it was not caught in the field of play? That's going to be hard for me to believe they have that shot.
There is no spot on this field further away from all the cameras than where that play took place. And you're talking about the matter of a toe on a sideline. I will stand by my belief that no call is ever overturned in Division II, especially in a game with two cameras, both in the press box. And I have no idea if it should be overturned, but it was interesting how quickly the back judge signaled incomplete with no reservation, and then the line judge ran down. They had a conversation and changed it. They're already back out of the tent.
There is no replay video available. Therefore, the play on the field stands. First down the CPAC.
So now they're turning and looking back at the booth because there is no replay video available and everybody's mad at the booth. The truth is that saves the Cardinals a timeout because that was not going to be overturned either way. So I understand asking for the review and then being told there isn't one is a problem. The reality is there's no chance they were going to have that angle.
So Michigan Tech has it, first and goal from the 1.
Wow.
4:15 to play in the fourth quarter.
Staggering turn of events.
And here, handoff to Ruff, running to the left side. He's bottled up and brought down, and he may have lost a yard on the play. Now, the other piece to this is if Michigan Tech takes the lead, even with a field goal, SVSU could wind up with relatively little time left on the clock. Now, we've seen the Cardinals with a quick strike offense today as their drives in the first half were just a minute and 16, a minute 55 and 27 seconds. So the Cardinals have been able to move the ball quickly and score quickly. Here, they're hoping to keep Michigan Tech out of the end zone. Second and goal from the 2. High snap. Handoff to Ruff again. He's bottled up in the backfield and brought down for a loss. And now we get a late penalty flag, and this may be the first holding call of the game.
It is, and it's one of the more egregious holds of the day. But it's just humorous to me that this is the moment that they decide to break that out. If you're the Cardinals, by the way, you will decline this holding penalty to save the time because you made a great stop tackle for loss. I mean, that hold had to be so obvious as to cross the threshold of the rule of the day, which is, they did take the penalty. I'm surprised.
I am as well.
That's another minute off the clock.
Now, it does stop with 3:23 to play momentarily. Now they'll wind it ready for play. Now, again, SVSU also does have a good kick block unit, and so you would be making it a longer field goal try. We've seen the Cardinals block a few field goal attempts this season. That could be factoring into Ryan Brady's thinking. The SVSU head coach. Second and goal from the 12. Freeze, force out of the pocket, sets it up for the screen to his tight end Collins. He gets down inside the 10 to about the 7.
Now, this would be an interesting moment. Clock management is so difficult to to strategize at this time. They will have to run one more play before the 2-minute timeout. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 on the 7, so 3rd and goal from the 7. The Cardinals, though, you can make a case for using a timeout and stopping this clock so that you don't lose another 48 to 55 seconds off the clock over the course of the next 2 plays. They're going to let it run. So with 8 seconds left on the play clock, here we go on a huge 3rd down.
Freeze drops back to pass. He wants to go on the quarterback draw. He's got a seam up the middle. He dives in. Touchdown, Michigan Tech. So Michigan Tech takes the lead with 2:05 to play in the fourth quarter. And now Michigan Tech will once again go for 2.
Wow. You talk about a turn of events. JJ, I can't remember when I've seen something like this happen, especially in the benefit of the road team. Usually it's the home team that would go in at halftime, fix some things up, and come out with a fresh burst of energy. It has happened in the opposite direction today, and right now the Cardinals are up against it.
Michigan Tech going for 2. Freeze, quarterback draw, runs into his own man, and he's going to be short of the end zone. So it remains a 4-point margin. Michigan Tech on top, 2:05 to play. Cardinals need a touchdown to win. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
Take us to Covenant.
Good answer.
It's time to take advantage of the lowest tuition of any state school in Michigan. A school where 90% of our students receive scholarships or grants. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is SVSU.
J.J. Bain, Bill Hobson back at Wick Stadium. Michigan Tech kicking off. Austin Bills fields it, gets out across the 35 to about the 36, and that also was done prior to the 2-minute timeout. So SVSU is going to get to run whatever play it wants here, and then we'll get the benefit of the 2-minute timeout.
All right, well, if you're a senior and you're looking for a lasting memory, this is either going to be a very sweet memory or a very bitter one, and it all will be told over the course of the next 2:02 of game time, as this Cardinal offense has got to wake up for the first time this half.
Blitz coming. McKenzie spins away from the first man, throws it to the near side, incomplete. And so that is the play that gets run prior to the 2-minute timeout. Michigan Tech perfectly timed a rush off the edge from Josh Cribben. And so SVSU is now going to have to regroup. The passing game was very effective in the first half. In the second half, Cardinals have been tried to work the clock with their first couple of possessions of the second half, which makes sense when you're leading 28-10. However, the Cardinals have not yet been able to get back into rhythm, and they're going to need to try to do that here to get the go-ahead score now with just 1:55 to play.
And the Huskies, yeah, they're bringing the pressure. They're bringing some extra linebackers in for a blitz package. But that also runs a little bit of risk on their side of things because it puts a number of the Cardinal receivers in single coverage. We have seen big play strike capabilities from this SVSU offense, and it's going to have to be in the form of something like that. So let's keep our eyes on Howard. Let's see what happens with Brown out of the backfield. And don't forget about Eric Kraft. There's a lot of things that can still happen here with 1:55 to go. 2nd and 10 now, coming after that 2-minute timeout.
Both crowds on their feet. Michigan Tech has made a dramatic comeback here in the second half. They hold the lead, 32-28. SVSU does have the football. They've got plenty of time with 1:55 to play in the fourth quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 36-yard line.
One big play is all it takes.
McKenzie drops back to pass, throws to the near side, incomplete, intended for Joseph Walker.
Good coverage, right on him. Pass was a little bit high. We've seen Walker make that play before, but it was a little bit out of his reach. Now we're looking at 3rd and 10, and the tension level, the dial gets cranked up to like 7 or 8. It goes all the way to 10 at 4th down. Let's hope we don't get to that point. Boy, are they a happy visiting crowd over on the far sidelines right now. The Cardinals need to quiet that side down and wake this side up.
3rd and 10. McKenzie back to pass, has time, throws, batted, and incomplete. Cardinals fortunate that wasn't intercepted. Great job dropping back into coverage that time by Hunter Beagle. And now it all comes down to this for Saginaw Valley. And SVSU's got an injured offensive lineman, Joe Botello. He's going to need attention. And so now SVSU sees what has been a tremendous season through the first 10 games come down to a 4th and 10 play for the Cardinals to win on Senior Day, close out with an 8-3 record, and cling to hope. And so Owen Colpert, a tight end for SVSU, is now going to put on jersey 65, and that makes him eligible to play offensive line. That will only come into play if SVSU can come up with a 4th and 10 conversion.
Now, the Huskies have not allowed a Mason McKenzie run really in the second half of any importance, of any length. So at this time, I mean, all options, of course, are on the table, all hands on deck and all those things, because this is it. This is do or die on this game and for any hopes of playing again in the postseason. So I'd keep an eye on Mason running, and I would keep an eye on Howard split out on the far side.
Cardinals going for it on 4th and 10. Blitz coming. McKenzie breaks one tackle. McKenzie still alive. Firing it down the middle. He's got a man down there. Incomplete. Pass is broken up by Michigan Tech. They got tremendous pressure on McKenzie, and Michigan Tech, with an outstanding second half comeback, is going to find a way to win this game.
Well, it was a pass that was lofted into a lot of traffic. You could make a very, very strong case that a yellow flag should have been a part of that equation, but it wasn't, as everybody was kind of going for the ball, so I understand that part of it, and the Cardinals turn it over on downs, and in, I think, one of the most staggering changes of fortune that I've ever seen in a football game, Michigan Tech's going to win this thing.
Everything flipped on the surprise onside kick that Michigan Tech executed perfectly and recovered.
And then the pooch kick to follow.
Correct. But the momentum, everything else changed on that executed onside kick by Michigan Tech. Here, handoff to Ruff. He's upended, brought down. SVSU will not use its final timeout yet.
Well, no matter how you do the math, there's no time.
Correct.
This is going to run down inside of 1 minute. The Cardinals will use their timeout after the next play, but 2 more snaps. This one is done. And you talk about a lousy taste in your mouth. You ever drank sour milk?
Yep.
It sticks with you for a while. And to have this happen in the final game of the season is going to be a really tough one to swallow. And now victory formation for the Huskies.
Freeze will come and take a knee.
And you think about these seniors, and my goodness, oh my goodness, they are not going to want to remember this one for long.
The Michigan Tech fans on the far side, however, they're eager to celebrate this victory. They will have to snap it one more time.
Stunning.
You've got to give credit to Michigan Tech. They never quit in this game, and they executed on special teams tremendously well, and SVSU was unable to recover, and that is going to lead to this outcome is Freeze takes a knee for the final time, and Michigan Tech comes on the road and spoils Saginaw Valley's senior day as Michigan Tech wins 32-28. Back in a moment. You are listening to Saginaw Valley State University football.
That is incredible. That's incredible.